Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket or are you just happy to see me?
Hello, everybody. What is up? This is going to be basically talk nerdy to us, but in a sense, talk nerdy about Batman: The Long Halloween, because both parts were released. Part one was released last month, and then we had like a month-long kind of hiatus. I think they pushed the date back actually a little bit because I thought it was supposed to be released a bit later than it was, but they were like, basically, fuck it, we'll release it a month after we released part one. So we got both this summer, and if you haven't read it, this is the book I'm talking about. It's decently long, so you kind of do have to set aside an evening to get through this thing.
It's such a good read, though.
Yeah, it is a very good read. So I'm saying it's not a quick one. It's not a quick one, but it's very good. It's in and in a nutshell, we're going to go into some details, but this is the birth of Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
Or not Harvey Dent, Two-Face.
Two-Face.
Because Harvey Dent does play a big role in this, and we'll go into that, but this is sort of the evolution of going from Harvey Dent, Assistant District Attorney, to the villain we know and love with the infamous coin flip Two-Face. So before I say hello to the chat, Steph, let everybody know where they can find you and all that good stuff.
Well, you can find me YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, locals, all that great stuff at My Nerdy Home.
Sounds very good. I will be fine. Got to type something real fast. Sorry about that. I had to respond to something.
You're replying to Stieg.
Yeah. I'm going to say hello to the chat, and then we'll get into both those parts. So, without further ado, first message was from Hominis Nocturna. Remember, you wanted this nerdy talk. Yes, I did. And I basically tweeted it out and said, like, to come and talk nerdy to us, because we are talking Batman, we are talking Jim Gordon, we are talking Harvey Dent, Poison Ivy, Catwoman, Joker, Solomon Grundy. Basically, there's a litany of rogues gallery of villains in this book. They don't exactly play huge roles, but at the same time, they do play some crucial parts in the book. So we'll be talking about all of that. And Maza was the one who let me know that part 2 was out. So thank you for that, Maza. Hey. Having a good start of your day. Good start of your day, because he's over on the other side of the world. So hopefully he's having fun over there. Corey Cochran, hello. Trey Courtney, what up? Watched Long Halloween Part 2, and it's really good. Yes, it is. I think I enjoyed Part 2 a little bit more than Part 1. Mainly because, like with the book, the action kind of picks up. The first part 1, is mimics the book in the sense that it's a slow burn. It's a build up. This is happening. The police think that they can catch the killer by a certain date, and surprise, they can't. So, and it ends up being called The Long Halloween for a reason, and we'll be getting into that reason shortly. So, Black Samurai, hello, good evening. Dread Saber Phil, that is like the best thing to ever happen to a Superman.
The thumbnail.
Yeah. Name is here. Woot woot. There you go. There's my message. Octo Noozle, hello Noozle, good to see you. Orange Chat Reviews, the Troll Slayer is here, watching on my 65-inch because I can, and Marin Cephalocotter on 65-inch.
Oh,
well, cool. That can be interpreted in multiple ways. So.
I've never. That's kind of cool. I know I've watched Friday Night Tights on my television, but I never thought that people would be doing the same with our stream.
Well, now we know. Cool. Now we know. Holocron Library Fox, hail Mara, hail chat. Good evening to you, Holocron Library. Let's see, Tim F. Yes, you were kind of right, but she does have a pretty legitimate excuse for today. I will cut her a little bit of slack. So let's see. Make sure I say hello to everyone. Make sure. Oh, so Ox 70. Yes. Oh, so size does matter. Yes, apparently size does matter. Let's see. Mr. Bentham. Hello, everyone. Good to see you, Mr. Bentham. And I have another guest popping in who's going to add his own take to it because I feel like, because he did not like part 2.
Ooh.
I enjoyed it a bit more, but I was just like, he didn't hate it. He didn't like it as well as part 1, and that is Steve Kenobi.
Hello.
Yeah, you're right. I don't like number 2. Hope you're having a good evening, though.
Yeah, he comes in and it's like he drops the bomb. I don't like part 2.
Yeah,
I don't
drops
like
the
it.
bomb.
Hope you're doing good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing a splendid. Well, a little bit under the weather actually, but other than that, I'm tip top.
It's like one of those. I don't know. It's like been one of those weeks for me as well, where it's like I don't know. Like past couple of days, it's like all I want to do is kind of sleep. I don't know what
I
it
got
was.
to go fishing though with an old friend.
Oh,
Known him since first grade. We went fishing in a boat, and I caught dinner.
wow! You'd like scaled your own fish and everything?
Yeah, I do that.
Wow.
I was manly. I was flexing my buttocks. There was hair on my
Oh,
chest.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was spitting tobacco over the side
That's
of the
what I
boat.
like to hear.
Yes. He always focuses on the butt flexing, even in D&D.
Yeah, you're supposed to. It's like a sign of
Yes.
confidence. You flex your buttocks and get on with the job, right?
It's like fighting a
Yeah.
monster, and he's like roll initiative. Like we should like start rolling for like how much we flex our butts during an attack.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like tightening the belt.
There you go.
Or something.
Now, oh, she's on time.
Mhm.
Now, Mara, correct me if I'm wrong. Both of us are here, me and you, and we have a guest. Is this our first guest where we've both been on?
I think so.
I think so, right?
I think so. Yeah, I mean,
Because I know that we have co-hosts, whatever one of us can't make it, but I believe that Stieg, you are our very first guest with both of us being here.
Number 1.
Congratulations.
yes,
Obi-Wan.
he won. He won.
Well, I'll take that smiling to my grave.
TD, hey guys, what's up? Hello, Mara and Steph. You both look amazing like always. Don the man showed up in the G&G Phasma stream, by the way. Yeah, Don is we're assuming is Trump.
Yeah, that's Trump there. That's Trump. He's been so incredibly generous and supportive and just phenomenal. Like it's mind-blowing how much support he's just throwing around everywhere, and it's incredible. The other night he was in Ryan's stream and I believe he donated like $1,200 or something like that. Yeah. It just kept throwing hundreds at him, and I was just like, oh my god. Like,
I'm just gonna like put this out there, Dawn, if you're watching, I also have a Twitch channel and I'm poor.
My birthday is in May.
I couldn't. We were playing Mario Golf, and I was just like, holy crap! Like we had to stop playing, and then like we ended the stream like after like he just kept throwing money. I was just like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. I messaged Jeremy to like, you need to come to Ryan's stream. I couldn't believe that. I was just like, oh my god, for someone to do that, it's incredible. And I was saying on my stream, like knowing, a lot of people personally, like I know that it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference, with like that kind of support makes a big difference.
I did the best super chat ever though, because I don't know how to do it. Because boomer genes. But I messaged Teresa and said I'd PayPal her money if she super chatted Culture Casino and said it was from me. It's very much how I make YouTube videos as well.
We got the woman to do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did send her the money though. But
I mean, I believe you, but it's like I will pay you. I don't want to learn how to do this shit, so I will pay you.
I'll pay you to do the work for me.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Dread Saber Phil. Krista, he was blowing up Crystal as well, and she crawled under the table.
That sounds dirty, and you know it.
Sir Cummingsworth III, why am I here just to suffer? Well, hopefully you don't suffer, because we'll be going into a little in-depth discussion.
Sir Cummingsworth the Third.
Yeah.
I like his avatar.
Yeah. His
Yeah.
castle is Camelot.
There you go.
I did not have a wardrobe
No.
malfunction. I know it would be nice if I did, though.
Here you go.
I actually got the jab today, and I'm wiped. I'm wiped. I told Mara when I got home that I'm gonna sleep for a little bit and then I'll get up because I haven't seen the Long Halloweens. I've read the comic, but I haven't. I told her I would watch it today and have it watched by our stream, but I didn't realize that like this fucking jab was gonna take so much out of me. And I got home and I was like, I'm gonna set my alarm for an hour. Like I'll wake up, and my alarm went off, and I slept right through it. I couldn't get up.
And she messaged me at 9 p.m. my time.
Yeah,
It's like I haven't watched them.
an hour before
Are they
the stream.
long? Are they long? And I'm like, in the scheme of things, no. But for 2 parts, it's like 2 hours and 40 minutes.
I know. I was like, no. I just sent a bunch of crying face emojis.
Yeah.
I feel horrible because I told her I'll have them watched by the stream.
Well, you should feel horrible because you fucked up.
I did fuck up. I fucked up. I didn't think it was gonna be that bad. I'm exhausted. I'm still exhausted.
I'll
probably fall asleep on stream.
I feel her pain because I got hit with fatigue like both times because I got like both shots. Like I went through the VA and you had to have scheduled 1 appointment, and then while you were there, scheduled the follow up 3 weeks later. And like the first time, I think it was like a little bit worse because I had headaches and fatigue, so I was like wiped. And then the second time was just fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I at least be thankful I just had that and not the other symptoms. But at the same time, it does knock you out. It does knock you out.
That's very true.
I keep getting text messages from the city, basically asking me to take the vaccine. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I just ignore them.
Yeah.
Like,
see, I held out.
one.
I held out as long as I could. But my mom is just.
Well, what's the point, though? I mean, if vaccinated people can get it and spread it anyway, what's the point of a vaccine passport?
And that's what I was telling her. I was just like, well, I mean, you know, you can still get it. And she's just like, but the Delta variant, blah, blah, blah. And so I was just like, okay, fine.
Well, it's like the flu.
I'll get it.
Like we get the vaccine each year, but you still can catch it. So it's like,
I told my mom, I was like, I haven't been wearing masks anywhere I go. I went to San Diego like 3 times, Florida once. Still fine. Haven't gotten anything. Haven't been wearing masks either. And she's just like, you have to get it. So it's just like, okay, fine. I pretty much got it too, because my mom told me to. Yeah, that's why I got it. I still do what I'm told by my mom.
Mm-hmm. Well, I work within a school district, and if I'm going to be student teaching, also I kind of had to get it, and I'm pretty sure if they come out with a booster, I'm going to have to get it as well because I'll be working around arguably like middle school to high school age kids, so like not too young, but at the same time, it's like they are a bit neurotic when it comes to like if you've been vaccinated or not. So, but Kaylee D, hello, good evening. Alex McCarthy, howdy, Mara and Steph, how's you all day? Been well, pretty good. Rented Fast 9 and loved it. You know, at least that franchise knows what it is. That franchise knows what it is and just runs with it. Yeah, Steph's sleepy, Ryan. Ryan's in the chat.
Hi, Ryan.
Let's see. Soul Assassin, hey, y'all. Good evening to you. Zero Fall, True Crimes, Streets of Nerdy
Home. I do True Crime Tuesday streams. This week, I already picked my story, and I'll be writing up.
What time was it? 'Cause I didn't get any notification on Tuesday. I completely forgot that you were doing the stream.
I have to check. On what time I stream the True Crime. I can't remember. But it's True Crime Tuesday, so it's at night. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was so much fun. I loved it. People enjoyed hearing about Chris Watts. That was my first.
Oh, okay.
That was my first one.
Hey, Michael.
Hi. This next one, I'm doing it on Stephanie Lazarus, and it's a pretty good story. It's very interesting.
Are you doing newer stories or all through history?
No, I'm just talking about different ones. Yeah, all through history. Yeah, I'm just talking about different ones. This one was an unsolved case for like 20-something years, and it was finally solved. So,
Kind of like the BTK
yeah.
killer. Brightest Day. Hey, ladies in chat. Good evening to you, Brightest Day. Let's see. Yes, Poison Ivy was amazing in this. I did like the voice acting, and
Kate Sackhoff, wasn't it?
Yes, Katie Sackhoff. Andrew, who dissed new phone. Yes. Hey, Andrew.
Hi.
Sam Thompson. Josh is amazing as Harvey Dent. Yes, Josh Duhamel is also like I think like, for the most part the voice acting in these parts is like very good. And Naya Rivera. Yeah, is that how you pronounce her?
Oh yeah, Naya Rivera.
Like
she's the Catwoman.
Yeah, last role she's very good as Catwoman. Jensen Ackles.
Jensen Ackles.
Yeah, like did
he do Batman?
He did Batman. He's probably better known as like the voice of Red Hood, but
Red Hood, yeah.
because this is early on in Batman's career, and he's going to sound a bit younger, less gruff. So I think like Jensen's voice works with Batman and so forth. Kate Sackhoff does Poison Ivy. All the voice acting for Carmine Falcone, Jim Gordon, very good.
Ackles was so good, I thought it was almost supernatural.
Ha!
All right, chat jumped on me. Give me 1 second, scroll back up.
Nice, Steve. I like that.
You're welcome. I dedicated
You'll always
to
be
you
Red Hood to me, though. Red Hood is by. Always Red Hood. I love Red Hood. That's my man's.
Oh, come on, Pete. I love when the chat jumps on me and like just like goes all the way down, and I scroll back up to see like where I left off.
I completely forgot that Naya Rivera played the voice of
Yeah, she's the voice of Catwoman.
She died as a hero.
I think they finally came out and said that her death was accidental drowning.
Yeah. She saved her kid, and
yeah, she did.
She sank. It was a boat accident. She got the kid up on the boat and then sank or something. So that's a hero.
And it's so sad. God,
she's like
she's so
early 30s.
Hi, Drunk Lipio. Yeah, she was early 30s. She was an incredible talent. Her voice when she sings is beautiful. I always loved her voice. And it's just sad. It's really sad what happened to her.
Let's see. Steven. He says, hey, Steve. Good evening to you,
Steven.
Common plays. Moo. Haven't seen The Long Halloween yet. Been waiting for part 2 to arrive so I can watch both back to back. Oh, so you got the DVDs. I broke down did through Amazon Prime because I was like, I'm not waiting for these DVDs.
Yeah, I bought the DVD. It's still in the packaging. And then I pre-ordered the second one, part 2.
I watched it in a different way.
Oh, are you a pirate, Steak?
Okay. Okay. Well, hopefully you can I guess if you want to watch it, have a chance to watch it, and then maybe come back and watch our discussion about it. But hopefully your grandmother is doing better, taking care of her, and it's been a while since can you hit me up on Twitter? Haven't spoken to you in a little bit. Still Sogi, everyone. Steeg uses a tiny lightsaber to scale. I believe it.
Yeah. Got the guts out and everything.
Ooh.
Yeah, you have to stick your hand in the guts and pull it out.
Ooh.
Jason Solo, Kenobi doesn't have the high ground this time. No, he doesn't.
No,
but
the men are on the bottom on the stream.
Yeah, but it's looking up.
Hey, buddy, bud. Also off topic. I can't wait for Halloween. Yes, I kind of can't wait for Halloween as well. Like Cowman Plays, I just said hello to in the chat, is planning on doing a kind of like a community get together in a sense on playing Friday the 13th video game, which I got. And if you want to get it, I don't know if it's exclusively PS4. It might be Xbox as well, but like on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation Store, I should say, it's like less than $4. So I was okay.
Actually, but my Xbox went poof, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to use my 360 then, and I'll play older games. 2 days later, poof.
You're just bad luck.
Sam says, Steph, open your packaging during the stream. What packaging?
Your DVD.
Oh.
She's a little out of it, folks. What is with that hat? Well, it's about Long Halloween. The short of it is the killer is a holiday killer.
The holiday killer.
I didn't notice that until now.
Yes, and this is my St. Patrick's Day hat.
Yeah, she's one of the holidays.
She's supporting the rainbow.
Sam
Where's the
McCabe.
rainbow?
Hey everyone, hope you're. I have the Christmas one still up there, so
Tasty.
hope you're doing well. Atomic Slash, hello Mara and Stephanie. Good evening to you,
Hi.
Atomic Slash. Sunny and Brave Megatron looks like the Mad Hatter. Well, it's the kind of in a way, but it's the St. Patrick's Day hat. You kind of can't see it because of this thing on top.
If you had seen her play D&D and whatever, you know how accurate that thing is.
Yeah,
Do you
I'm
guys
kind of.
dress up when you play D&D?
No, we don't dress up. I'm fucked up.
Oh,
I'm fucked up. Maybe at the end of the stream, if I remember, I can tell you a little thing that I did, and you'll either respect or just like be disgusted.
Oh, yeah, the others don't hold a candle tomorrow.
Richard Greeter, hello to you. A perturbed black man. I love that name. I took their loopy juice, the vaccine, for 4 fortnights, and 2 Ford Raptors later, I still feel loopy. Holy crap. Well, hopefully you feel better. Yeah, that's it can knock people out. My parents got the jab, and they were actually got kind of sick. They were like knocked, literally knocked for a loop after they got it.
A friend of mine's dad got it, and he was almost bedridden for 3 weeks. He was in real pain.
Yeah, like it can. My parents were lasted like a week, but yeah, it can knock you on your ass. And like I think like my parents told me that like I guess the doctors told them that if that happens, then chances are you had the coof. Zero Fall for $5. I'm just getting to your message, Zero Fall. I'm so sorry. I gotta run, but y'all have a good stream. Also, hope you feel better soon. While I'm off like a dirty shirt. Take care.
ooh, off like a dirty shirt. Yeah. I like that. Bye, Zero.
And Raj H with a super sticker. I can only assume it's the thumbs up. You gotta surprise us. You gotta
One day he's
we
gonna
look stupid. Like assume it's the sticker.
One day he's going to throw an eggplant in there or something.
Yeah, we're gonna give a thumbs up to it.
Yeah, we're gonna give a thumbs up to the eggplant.
Yep. Can we talk about Batman: The Long Halloween? Yes, we'll get to it eventually. Say hello to everyone in the chat. Cue Ball, hail! Good evening to you.
I have a different color than you guys.
I'm a member. Thank you so much.
Do you?
Yeah.
The emo lethal emotes. Yes.
Emo widow.
Let's see. Making sure I say hello to everyone. Phil, hello. Good evening to you. I think if I miss anyone, I'm sorry. The chat jumps on me a lot. Making sure I didn't miss anyone. I don't think I did. If I did, like I said, I apologize. Pastor G, hello. Good evening, Mara, Steph, and Steve. Hope you all had a great week. I always look forward to catching you guys live. God bless always. Thank you so much, Pastor G, and hope you had a good week as well and a good week coming up.
Do you know what he drinks?
What?
I don't want to know.
Pasteurized milk.
But
I am
Carry
so
on.
happy that Steve is our first guest.
I don't have an Amazon wish list yet. I need to kind of save up some money so I can get a P.O. box and then figure out how to set up an Amazon wish list so I don't dox myself. So I have to figure that out. I think I know. I think I kind of have to create a separate account with my YouTube name and the P.O. box, I think. But I have to go. But first, I have to get the P.O. box before I can set up an Amazon wish list. But trust me, I'm starting to get one going. I'm starting to get one going on like a little one of those private type of lists you can do on Amazon. So, yes, it's nice one, Steve. Yeah. All right. So I said hello to everyone in the chat. Let's get into talking about The Long Halloween. And this is also a book that is speculated the Batman movie might have taken some inspiration from, not necessarily completely based off The Long Halloween, but with some like news coming out about like a party scene and things like that. It's like led to
Mhm.
speculation that they like Matt Reeves has pulled some elements from The Long Halloween because
Yes.
The Long Halloween begins with a party. Essentially, it begins with a party. Very beginning, let me share my screen. I'm not going to play this because I don't want to get taken down or anything. I'm going to just show stills periodically through this. But where is it? Okay, this is part one. The part one literally opens up basically with the beginning of the book, where with Bruce talking with Carmine Falcone, and he says, "I'm only here out of respect for my parents." Carmine, throughout the book, like just to get this out of the way, he's trying to get Bruce to, how do I put this? Like basically go into essentially
Going to business with him.
together. Yeah, because Bruce has like basically he's oversees the bank and things like that. So he's like on the board and he oversees everything, and he basically has veto power.
Mhm.
Carmine wants to not be legitimate, but basically use a legitimate source for his dirty money. And
Yeah,
to do that, he would need Bruce's permission, essentially, his yes. And Bruce
Yeah.
is there saying, it's like just about right out of The Godfather almost. Bruce is saying, I'm only here out of respect for my parents, and like that's a no. That's a no from me. To Carmine Falcone. Oh my God, something break Megatron. Hey, no worries.
I was just about to ask, how do you like the animation?
I
know that where to go? Trey said he's okay with the animation.
Yeah, he's okay. I'm essentially okay with the animation. It's here, let me like maybe open up. Well, here, I'll just show this page right here. See if you can see that. The animation is close to how it is in the book. So if you don't like how it is in the book, you're not going to exactly like it.
I actually like how it's
animation
drawn in the book. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it closely resembles that in the book. It does take a little bit of getting used to, essentially, because it's basically taking that style and translating it to as a cartoon. So depending on how you take it, it works or it doesn't work. I didn't mind it because my focus was how are they telling us the story, essentially. How are they giving us The Long Halloween parts 1 and 2? So that wasn't a deal breaker for me. I'm not saying that's necessarily not going to be a deal breaker for anybody else, but I didn't mind it. Steve, how did you feel about it?
I actually liked the animation in the movies better than the comic book.
Okay. Yeah. It's very noir almost.
I thought the Joker.
Noir. What else has been described as noir?
The Batman. Yes.
Yeah. The Joker, though, in the graphic novel, I thought he looked terrible.
The Joker did look a little off. Yeah. He did look odd. Now he's featured in the movie?
Yes, he is featured in the movie.
And does he look a little bit the same?
He looks a bit better. He looks a bit better. Like they did change some elements, like within the animation of like how certain characters look. They still, like I say, try to mimic the style essentially of the book, but for some characters, like they're like okay, and then other characters like okay, they improved on how they looked from the book, and Joker was one of them. And
Catwoman looked great in the movie.
I think Catwoman looked better in the movie than she does in the book. In the book, she has like long hair, and you kind of have to believe based on that long hair that she can kind of like punch it up and fit it underneath that cowl that she has, and not have a little like I guess bump showing in the back. In the movie, they give her like a sleek bob, which works better and more believable when she's in costume. I think her costume is better in the movie than it does in the book.
Yeah. They need to make a Catwoman game though.
I know in one of the Batman games you can play as her for one part.
Oh yeah, in Arkham City.
Yeah,
and it's great fun, but it's not enough of it.
Mm-hmm.
They could easily do a Catwoman game like that.
If you're not familiar, chat, this is how the Joker, the Riddler looks in the comic. Let me see if I can get it up there.
He wasn't even in the movie.
Yeah, they skipped over.
Oh, what? Really?
They skipped over the Riddler. Yeah. And we'll get into that because like that's in part 2.
Yeah.
That'd be in part 2.
I actually questioned that they skipped him.
I mean,
I made a mark of it.
it's
I'm
in
not
a way, it's kind of strange, and like I said, we'll get to that. But in a way, I mean, I don't mind it because in the book, he doesn't play that big of a part.
No, he doesn't. No,
Yeah.
he's not
He
that.
really
big
doesn't play the big of a
part.
part. So it's not like he was crucial.
Uh-huh.
No, if they had to skip someone, he was it.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because he's one of the best Batman villains. Like he's probably
I
the
love
top
the
three would
Riddler.
be probably the top three would be more Joker, Catwoman, and Penguin. I would argue based on because people's at least particularly normies knowledge like began with the Tim Burton films, and those were the villains that they showed. But Riddler is right up there with those three, along with Two-Face and Poison Ivy, and I would say even Mr. Freeze. But in this case, yeah, they easily skipped over him.
Okay.
So let me see if I can scroll through. Then the other bit difference is at the beginning they don't show the party. They indicate that Johnny Viti, who is Carmine Falcone's nephew, son of his sister Carla. In the book, he was going to turn state's evidence and it's like against his uncle, and then as the mafia tends to work, he changes his mind, and he's like the party at the beginning of the book is him getting married, but they don't show that in
really?
So you can see I'm scrolling through.
party's
They
not
don't show the
there?
party. What?
Do the credits show the characters how they look in the book? That looks because I saw the
Yeah, they do.
woman right there. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think she looked better. But yeah, here I don't think I shared audio, so I can kind of play it and you can kind of see. So let me just scroll up to where the credits start. And then
Oh, you're sharing audio.
You're sharing audio.
All right. Did it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't even select share audio. Fucking hell. All right, never mind. Let me see if I can just scroll through it real fast because I don't want to get hit. So here's, see, right out of the book. That's a shot from out the book. That's a shot from the book as well. See if I can show the Batman shot.
I bought the book because of you, Stephanie, and Lethal.
Mm-hmm.
You guys told me to read it, and I did it.
Okay,
it's a great read. It's a great read.
Yeah.
Okay, here's
I
Jensen
liked it.
Nichols. Let me see if fucking hell. Harvey Dent. That's how Harvey Dent looks.
Oh, it looks good.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, in some of the. Well, let me see if I can. This. Okay, Josh Duhamel. He plays Harvey Dent. See. I skipped the Catwoman. Sorry, I can't.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
But basically, that's how Harvey Dent looks, and I think he looks better than. Let me see if I can skip through. So that's a Calendar Man. He kind of is reminiscent of, I would say, Hannibal Lecter in a way, because throughout the book and in the cartoon, they kind of show this. Batman and Jim Gordon go to the Calendar Man because the killer is killing on holidays. And it's like Clarice talking to Hannibal Lecter, you understand the mind of a killer.
Mm-hmm.
Who
do you think it is?
Yes.
If he got blinded, right, lost his eyesight, he'd be a blind date.
So I'm sorry, I'm not on. Hey, Mega Jetty, I see you in the chat. I'm sorry, I'm not on the chat when I'm on that screen. I can't see the chat. I enjoyed it. I very much enjoyed it. I would probably give both parts combined, not giving a separate score for either one, an 8 out of 10 for me.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, well, believe all women.
Later, though.
Believe all women.
Yeah.
Hey, Gopher. Hey, Andy Masterson, amazing animation. Yes, I very much enjoyed it. So that's a Calendar Man. There's Jim Gordon. I can see these credits show. Okay, that's Johnny Viti, the nephew. Now, what I love about the animation and the artistry in the book is that, particularly when we get to Carmine's daughter, she is how do I put this? The Jolly Green Giant ain't got nothing on her. Because I'm looking at her in comparison to Carmine, and I'm like, she's the muscle. I can
Yeah, she's clearly the muscle.
tell.
She's big.
She's the muscle.
That's a big woman.
And she's
She no,
yeah,
I don't.
she's like,
They made her more sympathetic in the movie than she was in the
yeah,
book.
in the book, she was. I don't want to say she was just there, but in a way, she kind of was. But in the movie, you kind of feel for her because she wants her dad's approval. She wants him like to actually acknowledge that she like is capable of running like the family business. And he's very, I guess, traditional in a sense where it's like, if I'm going to give it to anyone, it would be like a son or his son. But in the movie, he does not like his son Alberto, which is different than how Alberto is treated in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Because they changed quite a bit with that. So
that bit I didn't like when they killed off someone who was alive at the end of the story. You know, I felt it. Because it was a bit of a red herring thing in the book. You know, because it turned into a lot more like a whodunit story in the end, and in the movie, it's like there's only two suspects, and one of them obviously didn't do it.
I mean, I can get it, but at the same time, and we'll be getting into kind of that twist. It's when I reread the book, I was like, I think I prefer how it ended up in the movie, the storytelling.
As a standalone, yes, but I thought it ruined the twist.
It kind of does with the dialogue, because if you pay attention to the dialogue, you can kind of call it at the end. I'm not saying necessarily it's perfect, but at the same time, it's like if you think about how it's played out in the book and compared to the movie, I think the movie the story flows a bit better than in the book. But we'll get to that because it involves a certain character, one of the characters I brought up just now. And then $2 super chat from Dimaj and I, hashtag Pimp Raid. Thank you so much, Dimaj. I hope you're having a good evening. All right. So basically that's Johnny Beatty, and he is the first victim
of the holiday killer.
If she became Catgirl, holy fuck.
That's a big cat.
That's a big cat. That's a big cat. That's Meatball.
You'll see. That's
Meatball.
But all right. So he is the first victim. His death happens on Halloween. So just to kind of give you a gauge of the time span for the book, it goes from Halloween to Halloween. That's why it's called The Long Halloween. And Carmine even touches on that.
Yeah.
That's why it's called The Long Halloween. The first murder happens on Halloween, and the last showdown, essentially, in a way, like better way of putting it, happens on Halloween. So it takes a span of a year.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation.
Yes. So he is the first victim. He was the one in the book. He was going to turn state's evidence, and then decided he is not going to help the DA and get married instead with his Uncle Carmine's blessing. But in this case, he kind of is in a way turning state's evidence, and that gives the police the idea that he was killed because he was going to do that. So he's like meeting with Dent there, and so further on in the credits, and this is where he dies. He dies in the bathtub, and like right there, that's how the killer.
Look at that silencer. It's
there's a chubby in the tubby. Whatever.
It's a 22 caliber pistol, which, if anybody who's like shot a 22, it's not a powerful weapon at all. Like you would have to have like deadly, for one better way of putting it, deadly accuracy when you're hitting someone with a 22. I'm not saying you'll survive necessarily entirely a 22 caliber shot, but at the same time, it's like different than if you're using like a 9mm or a 45 caliber.
This is one of my major gripes with the movie. Mm-hmm. Whenever you see the killer, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously a guy. It's the same thing they did with Black Widow, with the stunt double, right? They did the same thing in this because it's. Well, can I spoil the ending?
Well, we'll get there. We'll eventually
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah, but I mean, look at that. That's a dude.
Now, because
And
it's
you see
really
him several
it's cut
times.
off like half of the body though. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's a dude, especially since they used like a bottle nipple as a silencer. Like who would think of that?
Mhm.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
you later on you see him as well. And
I
it's
think
obviously like
I believe in the comics as well, like they show like a hand and it has like, hair on it and stuff. But
Mhm.
there are times, yes.
yeah, but that's because the guy they cut out is doing some of the killings.
Oh,
in
so
the
they
book.
cut him out?
Yes. He dies on the boat.
Oh, okay.
But like in a way, I think it depends on how you take it. Depends on how you take it, but in a way, it kind of they work the story around that. I think a bit
Uh-huh.
better.
Yeah, but I'm thinking they kind of made a decision later on to cut him out. Because when we see the killer a few times, I'm like, that's not a chick.
Well, then
know,
the implication
That's
is that
interesting.
the implication is that in the book, in the cartoon, it still is a guy. So there's still two killers. That's the implication.
So there are still two holiday killers
Yes.
in
Yeah, but
the
they only
movie.
they don't catch two.
They don't. They
Yeah,
don't
but
catch
but they don't really catch two in the book either.
in the book either. Yeah, they don't catch two in the book either.
Well, they don't catch the real one, basically.
Or one of
at
the
the
real ones, but yeah, but basically, okay, spoiler, like going to the end, it's revealed that Alberto Falcone is the holiday killer,
Mm-hmm.
and
In the
that
book.
in the book, and Gilda, Harvey Dent's wife, started the killings. Essentially,
Yeah, but in this case, they just
Mm-hmm.
removed Alfredo. He just gets
Alberto.
killed off.
Alberto.
Alberto, sorry.
Alfredo.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, he dies on
they
the boat.
But yeah, they removed him, but they
So
replaced
now
him.
is it Harvey and his
Yeah.
wife doing the
Mhm.
killings
Yeah.
in the animation?
Well,
But
Harvey
they still
doesn't-
replace. They still have two killers. They just replaced the guy.
Harvey just claims it is him because he realizes it's the wife and he's trying to
Mhm.
protect her
Hmm.
in the movie.
Or
No,
in the
because
one instance, he does try to protect her.
yeah, because you see the killer shoot at someone next to Harvey, and Batman sees it too.
Yes.
So, which means for the viewer, there's only one suspect left. So the twist is ruined.
I still think that they wrote it in a way that Harvey's is legitimately one of the ones who's doing the killing. He just claims all the crimes to
Yeah,
protect
but
his wife.
he realizes it's the wife, so he's protecting her.
That you're led to believe it's that instance that he realizes it's the wife. In that instance, but I think like beforehand he realized it was her before he even became Two-Face, because he's kind of going crazy in the book, but you see it better in the cartoon where he's hearing a voice in his head, like when he becomes Two-Face, and he starts putting the pieces together on what's going on, especially when Batman starts asking certain questions.
Yeah, but he's still protecting his wife, I think.
Well, because it's his wife.
Yeah, but I don't think he did any of the killings.
I think he did.
I think he
did some of the killings. I think he killed Sal Maroni's father. Why would Gilda target Sal, the Maroni family? Her focus was the Falcone family.
Yeah, well, because those families are basically keeping Harvey away from her. In the book,
Which is why I think it works out better in the movie, because you give her a deeper personal motive than just they're keeping my husband away from me. That's just fucking. I'm right. That's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, but she's a bit psycho.
But you don't get that in the book as well as you do in the cartoon.
I don't know. I think they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have let they shouldn't have killed off Alberto.
Yeah, but even his motivation is like.
Yeah,
he's
but
killing the crime families because like they're antiquated. It's basically what he says. So which is like okay.
Well, big changes like this has ripple effects through the story, and usually it culminates in the ending, which you saw in Game of Thrones and stuff like that.
Which the ending essentially happened the same way as it did in the book.
The final scene, yeah, but the twist just doesn't work.
I mean, the twist you can call, but at the same time, it makes more sense.
Yeah, maybe for character motivation, but still, I don't know.
You have to have character motivation make sense. Otherwise, it's just like basically like Vince McMahon gif. Like it was me all along, Austin. Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves right now. We're getting ahead of ourselves. So basically, Johnny Vitti is the first victim. He gets killed in the bathtub on Halloween. And what the holiday killer does is leave little souvenirs in a sense.
Killed in the tub, at least it's a clean kill.
Gifts at each kill. And in this case, it's going to be a jack-o'-lantern because it's on Halloween. So this is, he meets his end. You see the gun right here, taped handle, serial number filed off, baby bottle, top is a silencer. 22. Like I said, not exactly a powerful weapon, but if you hit just right on someone, you can kill them immediately. So he is
aren't 22s or all that's like used in the animated series? Don't they use a bunch of 22?
So in the anime, yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said, like it's not exactly like they're not powerful, but compared to a 9mm and a 45.
Hi, Sil Abdul.
Yeah, they do take a little bit to take someone out, and if you use like a man-stopper bullet.
You know what? In older mob movies and stuff like that, quite often they'll say that a 22 is a woman's weapon.
Oh,
because it's light.
Oh,
and that's why in the book they threw out Catwoman as a possible suspect because of the caliber of the gun. So, hey, hi, nerdy, Mara, other guy.
Hi.
The other guy is Stieg. That is Stieg, spelled Stig.
I've been on a stream
pronounced
with them
Stieg.
on Mara's channel.
I just like that nerdy, Mara, other guy. So yeah, like it's like it can, like I said, depending on where you hit, it can instantly kill someone, but at the same time, like most often you do have to really pump someone full of that lead to kill them with a 22. So in this plot, you kind of have to suspend disbelief in a way and assume that the killer is hitting the mark with one shot most of the time, each time.
Joseph, hello, welcome.
So, yes, hello, Joseph. Good evening to you. So, let's see. He is the first victim. Oh, I gotta play you my new text tone, Steph. I think you'll like it. So basically, like this is Alfred is like from Halloween to Halloween, he stands there with candy, ready for kids to trick or treat, which is like kind of sad because no kids show up. No kids come out that way, pretty much, to trick or treat. Yes.
Master Bruce.
Yeah, Master Bruce. So
Alistair Duncan plays Alfred Pennyworth.
Yes. So that's like I love how Amazon just like you hit the screen and you can see who voices who. So let me see. So basically, he's talking with Bruce here.
Oh, I like that. I like the way Bruce looks. Looks good.
You know what I would like? If they just did a Christmas movie with Alfred and Bruce and Dick Grayson. Just a Christmas
like a holiday
movie.
special.
Yeah, no Batman, just those characters.
That'd be so wholesome.
Commenting is dangerous. Hello, the mob hitmen used to use 22 caliber guns to shoot people in the head because a bullet would rattle around the inside of the skull before it popped out. Yeah, that's one of the things. And like, even if they didn't kill them, they like gave them brain damage so they couldn't testify. Pretty much.
Which is why no blondes had ever been killed by one, because they can't hit the brain.
Someone, Andrew says, "Who's gonna come to Wayne Manor for candy? That's nuts." I would totally. That would be my first stop.
Like
They probably have expensive ass, like
it's
like,
a mansion,
like full size bars.
Yeah, like
Hell yeah.
It's like, you ever see the cartoon Bob's Burgers? Because there's an episode where the kids go to like the rich neighborhood for the full size candy bars. That's where you fucking go.
That's where you go.
That's
Go
where
to
you
the
go.
rich houses that have the full size candy bars.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Christmas with the Joker.
I would always get like when I was little, I always get so excited for the people who would give out full size candy bars. And I would always think, man, they must have a lot of money. They got full size candy bars.
Yeah, as a kid, it's like you knew what houses to hit. You'd mark that like on a map or something, so you could like spread the word to the other kids. It's like, hit this house here, you'll get a full size Snickers or Milky Way, pretty much. You let the neighborhood kids know.
Yeah, you let the neighborhood kids know they have full size candy. When you leave, when you're leaving, they have full size candy
bars. You don't even know the kid. Like, you pull them aside, it's full size candy bars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you get street cred from that.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we used to get
Not
stuff
the
like
murder
that
houses, no.
you know, when we stole
Imagine
apples.
not going to the billionaire's house.
Yeah.
And missing out.
Yeah.
On the full size candy bar. Megatron says, I once got a soda at a couple houses.
We used to raid people's gardens, you know, steal apples and plums and stuff. And the same thing, you know, you tell the bigger kids that, yeah, you know, that place.
That's a good house. Stonehagen. Yes.
Yeah. Go there at night, you know, they're old.
All right. So basically, one thing, like Billy Burke does Commissioner Gordon's voice. He's also very good. One thing they do change from the book is there's Barbara Gordon right there. In the book, he only has a son, and he's a baby. So they do change some things, and I think, like, you know, this works a little bit better because now it's kind of like, it's not member berries, but at the same time, it's like, you know, it's people know Batgirl, like Barbara Gordon becomes Batgirl. So to see her, you know, kind of emulating her father in a way as a crime fighter, I think it's a little bit of like a sweet touch here in this cartoon.
Good change.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so this is like,
it doesn't look like the one they cast for Batgirl though. Weird.
I know, but so Atomic Slasher, I once got a marshmallow trick-or-treating without the wrapper, and my mom made me throw it away because I grew up during that time as well. If the candy at all looked like it was tampered with, and I mean, it could have been like just torn a little bit.
My mom still does that with my brother's kids.
Mm-hmm.
She'll go through their candy. Now, I do like how Jim Gordon is animated. It looks good. Compared to the comic, it looks good. I want to see Batman. Look at in the comic, his ears. His fucking ears. They're straight up.
Let's see if I can get a shot of him.
So there's
two long ears.
There's Gordon in the comic. It looks really good. I like how he looks, but look at Batman's ears. Look at those fucking ears. Look at them.
Let's see if I can get. It's like,
looks fucking awesome. Look at that.
Let me see if I can get like a good shot.
Looks like a rabbit.
I think it looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, they're tiny.
So I think like that's just a shot, but it's hard to like narrow it down. Like, see, there's Catwoman there.
Below that.
Let's see if I can get a shot of a good shot of her. Oh, I gotta skip through a lot, but basically, this is following Johnny Beatty's murder, the Falcone family's meeting. Like I said, like big difference in the book from the movie is that he treats Alberto like shit because Alberto is kind of portrayed as weak in the movie, whereas in the book he was just keeping him out. Kind of like if you think about how like Vito Corleone kept Michael Corleone out of the family business for a while because Michael was kind of like the good son, as compared when compared to like his older brother Sonny, and the weakest one, Fredo. But like that's kind of how in the book he's portrayed there. That's where you see a lot of the Godfather inspiration. In here, Carmine Falcone, like I said, treats him like crap. This didn't happen in the book, I remember, but he does. This guy is has the nerve to kind of mouth back in a way to Carmine Falcone. Let me see if I can get that guy here. Like basically telling Carmine what to do. You kind of don't want to do that to a mob boss. Hey, William Poe. J.K. Simmons is coming back for the Batgirl movie.
Oh, interesting.
I do like J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons got ripped to play Gordon.
Yeah, but I'm not. The casting for Batgirl, I'm like, I don't know.
It's gonna
I'm
be
not.
woke.
Yeah. So he basically starts to tell Carmine what to do, and like in a sense, like you know, he's not exactly mouthing back, but you don't tell the Adon how to do like his job, and he gets not thrown down a flight of stairs, like the stairs themselves are kind of like that spiral, and you have like the middle parts where there's like a space. He gets thrown down that space, pretty much. They learned real fast. Let's see if I can show. Yeah, not to talk back to Carmine Falcone.
Yeah, you'd say it escalated quickly, but that would be completely wrong, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, he meets his end. Let me see if I can.
He had
See if I
to
can get a
drop.
good shot of like Catwoman.
He had to drop out.
Let me see if I can get a good shot of Catwoman like in her costume.
Hello.
Hmm.
Okay, that's how she looks.
That looks
And
a
you
lot
have the book in
better.
front of you. Let me see if I can find a picture of her.
Looks a lot better.
Yeah.
I thought I showed one.
I think.
Yeah, she looks
Yes.
better in the movie than in the comic.
Yes.
I think.
This is how she looks in the book.
Yeah.
Kind of a purplish hue to the costume,
And
but they
then
made
look
it
at
black.
her
Yeah. She doesn't
In
look
the
bad in
full
the comic
costume
either,
right
though.
there.
She doesn't look bad, but I think she looks better here.
The ears are a bit big.
The
and
ears
the
are a
ones
bit
that-
much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like a mouse more than a cat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this is also another change they kind of make where it's in the book she tells Bruce, well, Batman, like you know about this warehouse full of like Carmine's money that he can't launder easily because he doesn't have Bruce Wayne's backing with the bank, so he has to stash his money in this warehouse. But in the movie, she gets Batman to chase her. So it's like,
Okay.
which works. It works because that's what Catwoman would do, essentially.
Yeah. I thought
Yeah.
when you were talking, I thought you said like that was not in the book. I was like, wait a second, she does.
It is
that.
it is in the book. She does, but in the book she just tells him
She
it
tells
kinda
them in
cuts
here.
it
You can actually see it's animated and everything.
and
Okay.
animated where she gets
Plays
just
good
to
for
follow her.
animation.
Yeah. She gets Batman to just follow her, like basically like for kind of like you know just to have some fun with like the love of the chase essentially.
Yeah.
And then he's like it's like he gets there and he's like it's like why did you lead me here? And she's like just like here you go, here's why. And like it kind of plays out after that, kind of like how it does in the book, where Batman is talking with Harvey Dent. Harvey Dent kind of like goes, like that these bills are unmarked, so they won't be traced. And he's like contemplates almost like just taking some of the money. And Batman's like basically like it's like nah, we're not doing that. And they just set the money ablaze.
I would not recommend chasing women like that because when I tried it, the police stopped me and they were angry.
So basically, like Catwoman, like in the book, Catwoman is not there. In the movie, she is. So let me see if I can get a shot. Yeah, so like basically, it goes up, and Carmine is watching it from his window. So he's not happy. He's not happy. And then it goes to what happens with Harvey Dent and his wife. Now, this is where also they change a big thing from the book to the cartoon. All right, let me see if I can go forward. So,
Oh yeah, the
His
people
house-
who did it.
yeah, his house is targeted. That's what happens in the book. That happens in the book.
Mhm.
But in the book, it's the Irish mob. It's like essentially the IRA, not the IRA, but essentially like that. It is Irish boys, which makes sense because the IRA's particular modus operandi is to use bombs.
Yeah, the Irish are known for bombs if they're villains.
Yes.
Even in Sin City, the Irish guy uses a bomb.
Yes. But in the movie, they change it to the Chinese triads, which does not make sense.
No,
My own
'cause
personal opinion.
it doesn't.
Triads would not do the dirty work of someone else. I'm not saying they wouldn't necessarily use a bomb, but they wouldn't use it as part of like doing someone else's bidding.
No. It's a small part of the movie though, so I kind of let that slide.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still there at the back of your mind, right? You know, a weird change for why.
Yeah, a little bit weird. I mean, it's not exactly a huge deal breaker, but at the same time, it's if you know anything about like certain mafias, like I said, you would know the triads don't. They would not be.
You
How do I
know
put
what?
this? Like willing to take orders from someone else in this case.
Quite often the Irish are redheads, so they race swap more redheads.
Probably. But like in this case, if they were to target Harvey Dent, it's because he was Harvey Dent was focused on them, and that would be their motivation because they themselves would be taking out Harvey Dent. They would not. If Carmine Falcone went to them, they basically like laugh and tell them to fuck off. Like we don't take orders from you, essentially.
Yeah, and you'd think.
Hey Jeffy
yeah.
P. So, but basically, it's like again, like it's a kind of a small part, essentially, but it plays out the same. Where Harvey Dent is targeted, he's passed off as dead, in a sense, to make like it's like a little bit, or at least that he's like very much hurt. And let's see, Batman chases, kind of like the character I think in the book was Mickey.
Yeah.
Let me see if he chases this guy for a while. He figures out like who did it, who planted the bomb. It ends up. This fight is actually pretty damn good. Let me see if I can.
Yeah.
Batman gets into a fight with these three guys here. It's actually really well animated.
How do you keep a weapon like that concealed though? I mean, disguised as a broom, or
Put it on
you know.
I don't know, but like I said, like the fight itself is very interesting. Like it shows Batman's martial arts skills.
Yeah,
because he is a very adept fighter with multiple martial arts affinities.
Yeah, I can easily relate to that because I had to use a lot of martial arts fighting off 4 Girl Scouts the other day. Beat them up in a parking lot with no problem by using my training. Kick the shit out of them.
Then
young, you gotta keep young.
They tried to mob me with cookies to give me diabetes. I wouldn't have it.
Oh my gosh! So basically, like this fight happens, and Batman takes each one out fairly easily. I mean, he does like a little bit of a struggle. Catwoman does show up to kind of help a little bit.
But doesn't she save him though?
Yeah, he saves him at one point from this guy here. He was holding it, like I said, he was holding his own, and then Catwoman showed up to kind of help out a bit. So different from the book.
She has that Batman animated series outfit on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like it.
I would have taken the mint Thin Mint cookies.
Ooh, Thin Mints.
So
I took the cookies afterwards. Of course, they were just there.
Of course, yeah. So, and here's let me see. Batman, after Catwoman saves him, he follows the guy he was chasing into the sewers, and here's where he's trying to talk to the guy. Or he says here, is that I know what's down here. Because he's trying to tell the guy, hey, I'm probably like you come with me, you'll be safer.
Yeah,
because let me see if I can get a good shot of him.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, let me see if I can get Okay, I can only get the back. Solomon Grundy.
You know, he always looks like what John Goodman would look like as a Witcher.
Well, I mean, maybe John Goodman early years, yeah, I could see that. He did lose he did lose some weight.
Yeah.
But John Goodman early years, I would say yes. Let me see if I can get a shot of his face.
Yeah.
There.
Mm.
That's what he looks like. That's Solomon Grundy.
You know who he looks like? The CIA guy from Rambo 2. Stallone shoots up his computers and shit at the end.
Looks like John Cena.
That's actually that's an insult to Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy would know better than to shill for China.
Solomon Grundy, made in China.
So, and Harvey Dent is in the hospital. That's Harvey Dent's wife there. They change her looks a bit as well.
Oh.
They kind of give like both Catwoman and Gilda like sleek bobs. But that's Gilda, Harvey Dent's wife.
Yeah, she looks a lot better than in the comics. She looks like she could hold her own. In the comics, she looked extremely like meek looking. You know what I mean? Like
they kind of made her frail almost.
Yeah,
like kind of mousy. And in this case, she does. You can get the sense that she does have deep-seated psychological issues because like it's like throughout the both parts, like you know that she's unable to have children and it's eating at her. It's eating at her, and you find out why in part 2. She can't have children.
Yeah, Megatron in the chat says she looks like the villain in Indiana Jones 4. Yes.
It kind of does.
I'll go.
So basically, let me see if I can see. There's a scene here where they're trying to get the guy to talk, kind of like in how they try to get Mickey to talk in the first part of Batman. First part of Batman: The Long Halloween. See, this is where I think. Hold on, let me see. Let me scroll through, make sure. Where I think, because this Gilda's left, and that is where Harvey was. That's why I think that he's not putting the pieces together, but he doesn't want to stay in bed. So in the hospital. So I'm not saying it necessarily at this point, but at the same time, it's like it's believable that at some point he's probably going to tail his wife in a sense. Because I'm pretty sure Harvey Dent knows a little bit about her history. They don't exactly flat out come out and say it, but I think like it's something that she would have told him at some point, or at least a little bit. Because he understands that like she can't have children, even though they want to try. She can't have children. So let's see. Okay, this is that's Alberto, and
that,
like I
that
said,
nurse looked more like Gilda than Gilda does. But this is what she looked like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Gilda in the books. Like she has a bob, but at the same time, it's meek, a little mild.
She's kind of like Adrian and Rocky. You know, very
That's her thing. Oh my god, it's like in Brave Megatron. I have a pizza now with no bitch ass pineapples. So, and like Alberto does like a lot of crossword puzzles in this cartoon. He's talking with his father, Carmine. Like I said, Carmine kind of treats him like shit. Jack Quaid does Alberto Falcone. It's like he's in The Boys, I think. And you have Titus Welliver playing Carmine Falcone. Both do excellent jobs. And he's like, Alberto's talking about how he sent flowers to Dent's hospital to kind of like, it's where he says, like, thought it takes suspicion off of us. Carmine doesn't like it. Again, so let me see if I can get. Jim Gordon finds Harvey Dent here. They have a talk, and then let me see if I can get. right, this is kind of like in the book where the Irish guys are partying, that they got off essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is where the holiday killer strikes again.
Yeah, and the Yakuza drinking big mugs of beer.
Beer.
Well, I mean, triads. Yakuza's Japanese.
Yeah, but it's still.
Yeah. Yeah, so like in the book, the holiday killer strikes there. It's Thanksgiving. Oh, this is where Batman leaves Thanksgiving dinner for Solomon Grundy, which is in a weird way touching.
Mm.
So let me see if I can get to the holiday killer comes in. And that's the aftermath. Yeah. So and it focuses on Arkham. That's Cobblepot.
Ooh.
Oh, there's Jonathan Crane, I believe. Calendar Man. Like I said, he's treated like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
In the book and in the cartoon. Hey, Metalong.
Hey.
What is it the Calendar Man does whenever he's out and doing villainy? Does he kill people on certain dates or something?
He's kind of like the holiday killer in a sense.
Okay.
But where the holiday killer was kind of more major holidays, for one better way of putting it, Calendar Man is like every holiday's up here.
Yeah.
So if it's like on the calendar, like marked as like a holiday in a sense, and like he like kill around that time.
I actually know nothing about the guy except for tiny appearances in the Arkham games.
Yeah, so they go to him. First suspect is, so basically he's the Hannibal Lecter, essentially.
He looks really creepy. Looks good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you see, okay, here is the Joker in the cartoon. Better than in the book. Joker appears around Christmas. He breaks out around Christmas.
Yeah.
Joker in the book looks like a vampire.
He looks, he does. He looks very, he looks eerie in the book. Very sinister looking. Yeah, let me say.
It's like his teeth are 6-inch long.
I know.
Yeah.
Look at his teeth.
No worries, Jacob. Yeah.
Yeah, that just
look at
looks
a toothy grin. Yeah.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, he looks extremely sinister.
Mm-hmm. So in this case, like here, like he's not quite as toothy, but at the same time, it's like the grin works. And he appears around Christmas. He's trying to figure out who the holiday killer is, because he's like, I don't want any competition. Essentially, he doesn't want any competition. So he wants to figure out who the holiday killer is as well, but because he's the Joker and batshit crazy, he doesn't exactly go about it in the most subtle ways. So he first goes after the dents. Then he goes after Sal Maroni, who's like the opposing mob family. Sal is the son of, is it Luigi Maroni, his father, who's like Carmine, who's like the kind of the enemy of Carmine's father. So the Joker goes to see Carmine. Let's see, because like I said, he's trying to figure out who the holiday killer is. And
he looks weird.
I gotta scroll who ends up getting it on Christmas is part of the Falcone Mafia, but it's
that scene right there.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a scene straight out of the Batman movie. Like the Batman took so much inspiration from the comic.
Yeah,
it's so good.
So this is, I believe, it's supposed to be Milos. Carmine's one of Carmine's henchmen, main henchmen. He's the one who gets killed on Christmas Day. And you had the Joker cards there because the Joker saw Carmine and left Carmine. So you see the Joker cards there, which is puts Batman on the trail of the Joker, even though it's the holiday killer. So it's is the Joker actually the holiday killer? This is Batman also essentially becoming the detective that we know in his cartoons. You have the evolution of Batman as a detective and the evolution of Harvey Dent into Two-Face. And then it ends, I'm just going to scroll here, on New Year's Eve. One thing that's happening is that the Joker gets a plane, and his mentality is, I don't know who the holiday killer is, so I'm just going to gas all of Gotham. Chances are the holiday killer is down there. That's the Joker's plan.
Very nice, Joker.
Okay.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. And
Look at that smile.
yeah. And so he's basically flying a plane around like Gotham Center. He sees all the people, he knows all the people are going to be down there celebrating New Year's Eve. And he's like, just gas them all. Gas them all. I'll eventually get the holiday killer. Quintessential Joker. Quintessential Joker. So yeah, great plan. Great plan.
Great plan.
Batman stops him, as Batman does.
Ooh.
And here's where there's a big change. Spoilers, again, spoilers is in the title. Alberto Falcone fakes his death here. But in the movies, it's played out that he actually dies. He's shot on the boat during the New Year's celebration, and he dies because he gets chopped up by the propellers. You see it. So it's like there's no chance that necessarily that he could that he faked his death. He died.
Mm-hmm.
So he's talking with that's Selena right there. He's talking with Catwoman. And you find out what her focus on the Falcone family is as well.
Something just struck me though. It's about the calendar man. You know what would happen to him if someone took all the calendars and removed the 5th month? He'd be completely dismayed. Anyway, carry on.
Anyway, so basically the part 1 ends with Alberto's death. That up there is the holiday killer. Alberto is shot. He goes over the railing. Let's see if I can get a shot of him going down. Like Batman chases after the holiday killer. The holiday killer gets away.
Yeah, I mean,
in the boat right there.
You see the killer there too. It's not a chick.
Oh, let me see. Can you find? Oh yeah, that doesn't look like a woman.
Doesn't look like it. I mean, look at that. That's
no,
not a chick.
At all. Look at the legs.
Yeah. I mean, I think they changed this stuff halfway through. That they were gonna, I don't know, but that's not Harvey's wife. I mean, look at the side of the head, where the hat meets the mask,
Mm-hmm.
It's a dude.
It's very much a dude.
Yeah, they basically did the same thing they did with Black Widow. They gave, the villain they used a male stunt person. And then just stuck a head
in the animation. Yeah, that very much looks like a man. That's a man. Those are man's legs. That's a man fist. That a man face. Mara, you're muted.
Sorry, I was opening up the stream on the other side so I could see what the super sticker that Lethal Lightning sent, so I could thank him for the $10 super sticker. And it's like a pear, and I guess it's dancing or lemon. I can't really tell. Not a pear, but a lemon. I guess dancing in a way. But thank you so much for the $10 super sticker, Lethal Lightning.
The widow one. That one.
It's like doing this or something like that. So you go on the other side. But thank you so much for the super sticker, Lethal Lightning. Very much appreciated. You did not have to send that. But whereas, it's kind of like akin to what happens with Taskmaster in Black Widow. At the same time, it's like you kind of don't want to with Gilda's body type, you don't want people to be able to call it right away necessarily.
So what does she have on? Extra padding?
Padding.
Now, didn't you say that there are 2 killers still?
There are 2 killers. So that's I believe the implication when I was watching part 2 is that they still imply that there's 2 killers. it should it's, instead of it being Alberto, it's Dent.
I don't.
Yes, because at some point he does start putting two and two together, like that it's his wife that like at least did the initial killings.
Well,
and she has a motive. She has a motive, actual motive in this, other than just her hubby is being held at work, essentially.
Well, I think it happens in the second one too, though, because the killer is shooting at someone who's next to Harvey Dent, right?
Okay.
In the alley. And when we see the killer there as
It
well,
looks like
it's
a man.
obviously not a chick.
Which, again, I can look. I'm not trying to write the story for them. However, following like readings of true crime and things like that, there are ways to disguise your body type.
Mm-hmm.
There are ways to disguise your body type. So
That's
why
clearly a
I'm-
man there, though, Mara. Like,
Yeah.
Look at that neck. Look at that face. Look at the hairline. That's clearly a
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. And that's the look the other one has too when it's shooting past Harvey.
I'm trying to get like a good
I mean,
shot of them.
if you put on padding and all that, it's just going to slow you down.
Not necessarily. As someone who was in the military and had to walk around with like
Just play it.
What?
Play it a little bit.
Let me see. See if I can go
Nice
back a
cape.
little
I
bit.
love that profile. Looks so good.
See if we can go back a little bit. So Alberto was shot.
You're sharing the audio, by the way.
I didn't select share audio when I shared my screen. So I'm sorry. If I get claimed, fuck it at this point. But I did not click share audio. Here, I'll go back. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Share. Screen. Chrome tab. Batman Long Halloween. I'm not clicking share audio. What does it do?
Audio.
Oh. That's interesting.
I did not click share audio.
Maybe it's being shared through your microphone.
I don't think it would be. It couldn't. But I'll mute myself, and if you still hear audio, just tell me.
I'll give
But
you
I
a
did
thumbs
not
up.
click share audio.
You're not sharing audio now.
Nope, can't hear it. You couldn't know. You're missing so many pieces. Oh,
That's
that's
a dude.
dude.
Yeah, that's absolutely a guy. Look at that. Chop chop.
Look at all the blood. Crosswords.
Look at that. That's a guy.
That's a guy, Mara.
That's why I said they changed some things.
That's
Where
very
it's,
much on my end.
where it's implied the killer is Harvey Dent.
That's very much on my end.
I know. I'm saying they implied that the killer is Harvey Dent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it was a girl, even though I like I said, true crime has told me that you can change the look of your body type to fool
Mhm.
people. But again, this movie implies that Harvey Dent is doing some of the killings.
Mm.
So in the book, it's his wife. She does the initial killings, and then Harvey Dent not Harvey Dent, but Alberto does the other killings, which doesn't make any sense
No.
if you think about it, because what's his connection to Gilda? Gilda is doing it because she the Falcone and Maroni families are keeping her hubby away from her. He's keeping him busy. Alberto thinks the mafia, the mob families are antiquated. He's Gotham doesn't need you anymore. He essentially tells his father at the end, near the end of the book. So it actually makes more sense when you have two killers working with a similar goal in mind.
Okay.
Closer as a similar goal, I think works a little bit better. I didn't necessarily say this Gilda here, even though you can disguise the body. It's implied that Harvey Dent is doing some of the killings. Now, maybe he doesn't exactly know that Gilda has helped a little bit up until now, because he thinks it's the mob families going at each other. But Harvey Dent, throughout both parts, or particularly part 2, you hear the voice inside his head. He's going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The voice telling him to kill. That's Two-Face coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you can watch both parts, but I got, when I watched part 2, I got the sense, this is implying here that Harvey Dent is one of them. And he's not going to exactly go after Carmine. He's going to go after people close to Carmine. Who's as close to Carmine as it is? His son, essentially. Sophia is not in the picture yet. The daughter. She doesn't show up until part 2, like in the book. She shows up later. Yes. Parts 1 and 2 are out. So there it is. Yeah, this is basically the end of part 1. So I guess to sum up, Stieg, what did you think of part 1?
Part 1, I'd give a 7 out of 10. It's done well. But I didn't like the changes. Well, especially this one where it's obviously a guy, Well,
let me see in the book. Let me see if I can go to that part in the book.
I don't think you see a shooter in that part in the book. He just falls over.
Yeah, which again,
making it.
If Gilda targeted him, why did he fake his death? It doesn't make any sense. Because this is what happened. I show the.
Well, he doesn't know that.
Yeah. So this is. So I mean, let me make myself full screen real fast so people can see. These are the panels in the book. They're on the boat. That's Carmine's. That's fun. Alberto here. Carmine's sister's coming out. She doesn't see it happen. But she's Alberto. Here's it. Yeah. Alberto falls off the boat.
Yeah, and he's the one firing the gun. He fires the gun somewhere and drops it to fake his death.
So, he drops it right here. It's dropped right here.
Yeah. So he's the one firing the gun. Nobody's targeting him.
Mm-hmm. But then again, so just to let everybody know, Steph had to dip out because she's not feeling well because of getting the jab. But at the same time, Gilda targeting the first two, because it's summed up that way in the book. Why would Alberto take over? I mean, it doesn't really make any sense. And think about it. He has his own motivation. So is it would you? The only thing I can make of it is that he took the holiday killings and decided I'm going to be inspired by them. But then you don't get that.
Or just took the opportunity, but he doesn't know he's targeted though. It could be anyone in the family, but he just fakes his own death, blames it on the holiday killer in a sense, and then.
Yeah, but then he starts targeting the family essentially. So, and his motivation is because the mafia is antiquated. They are relics of the past. Carmine's the relic of the past essentially. Hey, Epi May. So at the same time, it's and then Gilda just stops. Doesn't make any sense. Really doesn't make any sense the way it's played out in the book, in my opinion. I'm basically going off of it as a psychology major and kind of a lover of true crime. But this is basically how the movie ends.
Yeah,
how the movie ends. There's not much more we can say about this part 1. This is where it's.
I just don't think the change.
Well, as long as you're happy, Andrew.
I don't think the change improved anything. made it different, and I guess it works by itself, you know, in the confines of the movie. But it's just, eh, I thought it was weird,
So
a weird choice that they didn't really need to make.
I don't know. I thought I didn't exactly like it in the book, at least the motivation they gave. So I'm gonna close out of here so I can open up part 2. So I'm gonna mute myself real fast so I don't dox myself.
You're muted. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Stephanie was gonna. She was gonna crash any minute. She was. She was dead tired from the vaccine. Will Gentry sporting a new avatar. Weird. You look weird with a new one, man.
Hey, Will, thank you so much. Hope you're having a good, I guess, early morning for you. I forgot there's a post-credit scene at the end of part 1. So I'm not going to play audio. I'm just going to skip through. This is the funeral for Alberto Falcone. Bruce Wayne shows up out of respect, and you meet a new associate of Carmine. Any guesses as to who that is? Hey, Sky Trooper. Any guesses as to who that is, chat? Even if you haven't read the book, I think you can kind of tell. Trying to get a shot of his eyes, but his eyes change color. If people like no. Yes, it's Ivy. This is where you meet Poison Ivy. Different than in the book. The book, she pretends to be a flower, like one of those like sells flowers on the streets, kind of like, you know, like the stereotypical old woman selling flowers on the street. She passes herself off as that. Bruce Wayne gets pricked with one of the thorns, and that's how she starts controlling him. And here, she's like, you find out right away, and you don't find out until after, a little after, ways after, when Catwoman saves Bruce Wayne, that Ivy was working with Falcone in a sense. Here, you're flat out like shown. She's an associate. She's been hired by Falcone. That's the post-credit scene in part 1. That sets up part 2. Yeah, I bet she is. So, yep. So this is where you meet Ivy. So if you haven't seen part 1 and you're not caring about spoilers, watch to the end. That's where you see her. There's a post-credit scene. Forgot about that. Now I'm going to stop sharing the screen and go to part 2. Share my screen. All right.
Trey Courtney says Ivy in part 2 is the blueprint on how to do her in a film. He's right.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, the green gave it away. Yes, it's a blueprint for how to do her. So basically, part 2 opens up with like Bruce Wayne thinking that he's out, like, you know, basically like it's all is right with the world. He's happy, things like that. Good night, Orange Chat Reviews. And like that he's with this woman that he believes he loves, but in fact, it's Ivy controlling him. And what she does is she uses her powers, and we know what her powers are, to make him sign over stocks and bonds and things like that to Carmine.
Which actually takes it right back to the beginning of part 1.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Because Carmine needs the leverage, like that leverage that Bruce has with the bank to move his dirty money. And since Bruce is not going to give his permission because he's, while he is damaged, essentially, by where he's putting it, he is like a Boy Scout. So he only really interacts with Carmine, like he says, out of respect with his parents, or to his parents, particularly his father, Thomas Wayne. And that's it. That's the only reason like he at all plays nice with Carmine. Other than that, there's a no-go. So Carmine enlists the help of Poison Ivy, which doesn't sit well with his daughter Sophia because she calls them freaks later on. But that's what Ivy's doing. She's controlling both Bruce and Alfred. And she essentially keeps Bruce prisoner for about 3 months. Because you see a little montage, in a sense, at post the New Year's Eve killings of the ones that happened in February, Valentine's Day, and St. Patrick's Day.
So she actually keeps him rooted in one place for 3 months so Falcone can branch out. That's nuts.
Yes. So, yeah. So, that's Sal. This is a Valentine's Day killing. Goes after, like, Maroni's side of the Mafia. Jim Gordon's, like, wondering where Batman is. Then, happens again. You see a little shamrock there. Happens on St. Patrick's Day. No Batman. Bat signal's lit. He doesn't show up. Catwoman puts 2 and 2 together. In the book, she sees him with Ivy. Or, like, she sees Ivy in the car when Bruce is leaving somewhere. That's where, and she sees it. In the movie, she kind of puts 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, she sees it and can't leave it alone.
So basically, like, Ivy's, again, controlling Bruce. She wants to get him to sign the stock transfer. And here comes Catwoman.
Bruce Wayne.
Yes. Catwoman saves, like in the book, saves Bruce Wayne. They do it a bit differently, but that's how it ends up. So she fights Ivy, kicks her ass, pretty much, and saves Bruce and Alfred. Let's see if I can skip through a little bit. So, basically knocks Ivy out. Knocks Ivy the fuck out. Saves Bruce. Bruce has to fix the situation because he signed over a bunch of shit to Carmine Falcone, so he has to call the lawyers. Yep, because this is about a holiday killer. Yes. So, Ivy's captured. Bruce thanks Catwoman. Now, in the book, I think I forgot about this in part 1, but in the book, Bruce and Selina are basically in a relationship, but it's implied that they don't know each other is Batman and Catwoman. Because I have the book here, and in the movie, she knows Bruce Wayne is Batman, and he knows Catwoman is Selina.
Yeah.
So, but in the book, it's Bruce and Selina know each other, but Catwoman and Batman don't know who their alter egos are. So she's like, still at large. She's telling him, like, hey, you've been out of commission for like 3 months. I just basically just saved your ass. And Holiday is still at it. So get to work, Batman, essentially. So this is, I think, April Fool's Day. But in the book, I'm trying to scroll through without skipping some stuff.
Yeah, they skip a couple of holidays in the movie.
Yeah, because in the book, it does touch on April Fool's Day, and that's where you see the Riddler. That's the part that was easily cut out because the Riddler doesn't really do much. He's asked by Falcone, hey, can you figure out who the holiday killer is? Riddler doesn't know. And Riddler is targeted by the holiday killer, but the holiday killer doesn't kill him on April Fool's Day because April Fool's not going to kill you. So you see kind of like the Riddler sort of like kind of scared against the wall and like this bullet pattern. Here, I get the picture. Bullet pattern around him. Okay, there's Valentine's Day. Ivy has Bruce. St. Patrick's Day. Trying to figure out who the killer is. Yeah. So see those little holes around the Riddler?
Yep.
Like an outline. The Riddler survives because it's April Fool's Day, and the killer's like, "Psych, not going to kill you." And they skip over that in the cartoon. So I guess they do skip over parts. And this is their Harvey Dent and Gilda going at a crime scene. And here, let me see if I can get a good shot of Scarecrow, because Scarecrow, with help, escapes. Let's see if I can find a good shot of him. Like a good close-up shot. Okay, that's his. Okay, it skips through. Oops, sorry. So basically, with help, Scarecrow escapes, steals a horse. Yeah, that's not a good shot necessarily, but he steals a horse, escapes, and you find out that like Carmine, or at least the Falcone family, orchestrated it because Falcone's been reduced in a sense to using freaks to help out with like his criminal empire, because the Falcone empire, as well as the Maroni empire, falling apart around him. It's falling apart around him. And his daughter, Sophia, and I'm trying, like, well, eventually we'll get to that. She's not liking the fact that he's enlisting the help of these freaks, as she calls them. So you got Scarecrow here. Later on, you see Mad Hatter. And I think, in the final showdown, Penguin and Solomon Grundy. But they skip over the Riddler, and those are the only other, like, three villains that you see. Scarecrow, Mad Hatter, and Penguin. So Scarecrow, Batman, knows the Scarecrow, so he uses a mask, but Scarecrow gets him by jabbing the fear toxin directly into him. So these scenes here is what Batman is seeing. Like, that's the fear toxin working.
And we get to see.
See, that's how Scarecrow looks. The Batman.
Yeah, we get to see his parents get killed again, which I'm.
Yes.
Can't they do a single Batman thing though without showing that?
Well, in a way, I can see where you're coming from, and in a way, it kind of works in connection with the Scarecrow. Like, this is a family here that Batman encounters because Batman goes to the spot where his parents were killed, and he sees his family, and he has like flashbacks to what happens with his parents because Scarecrow killed his mother, like Jonathan Crane's mother, on Mother's Day. So that's a little bit of a connection there. And this is the Mother's Day killing, or like around the Mother's Day killing. So Batman has been like hit with the fear toxin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it works. So this is like what Batman is seeing is what happened to his parents, and he's seeing another family, and he's kind of like conflating the two. And he wants to protect his mother. And it's like, in a way, it connects to Scarecrow. Now, he sees his mother here, but in fact, it's actually, see if I can go back. No, I can't. It's actually Catwoman who rescues him and takes him home. In the book, Bruce Wayne is taken into custody because at some point it's speculated, like, based on like compiled evidence, essentially, that like Harvey Dent is coming up with, is that like Bruce Wayne is possibly the holiday killer. So they take Bruce Wayne into custody, and there's a good part here when Alfred is on the stand. Let's see if I can get to that part. Okay, Riddler, Mother's Day, which has a connection to Scarecrow. Okay. Let's see what Alfred says on the stand. Okay. Bruce is caught at his mother's grave, and it's past Mother's Day into like Father's Day killing, which we'll touch on because the Maronis. Okay, here it is. I'll read the parts. Okay. Because Harvey Dent is trying to connect Bruce Wayne with Carmine Falcone because Carmine Falcone's father had connections in a way to Carmine's father. When I say in a way, meaning that Thomas Wayne essentially used, I don't want to say used money, but Thomas Wayne treated Carmine Falcone years prior. And I think the implication is that Carmine's father donated a lot of money to like hospitals and things like that, and Thomas Wayne took advantage of that in a sense, but to do so to help Gotham. So this is Dent. This is the panels here. Dent is saying, Mr. Pennyworth, you still contend under oath that Thomas Wayne never accepted any sort of payment from Vincent Falcone. Explain to us the relationship that continues to this day between the sons, Carmine and Bruce Wayne. It says, Alfred says, to my knowledge, they didn't have one. And then Harvey Dent says, and explain to the jury, why didn't Thomas Wayne report the crime? He's talking about treating Carmine Falcone so that Luigi Maroni would be behind bars, and this city wouldn't be in the grip of Carmine the Roman Falcone. Luigi Maroni is the one that ordered the hit on Carmine. Luigi Maroni is Sal Maroni's father. And I think this sums up the situation with Gotham in a nutshell. And the Waynes. Alfred says, perhaps Dr. Wayne did file a report, but Gotham City was different then. The police, even the district attorney's office, were rife with graft. Several months later, Dr. Wayne and his wife were murdered, the most decent people I've ever known, gunned down in these very streets. To this day, the killer was never brought to justice. Perhaps Gotham City is not all that different, meaning Gotham City itself is not all that different from the Falcone family. It's basically Gotham City in itself is a character. It is like crime ridden, and it's like, and it also extends to also the law enforcement.
I was on Teresa's channel today talking about the Fellowship of the Ring book. Mm-hmm. We kind of started talking about Middle Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll repeat what I said though. I said, in any fantasy story, and this is a fantasy story, mm-hmm. right? The most important character is the world the story takes place in, because mm-hmm. it's the one everyone interacts with. And this is why lore is important. And this whole backstory with the Maronis and the Falcones, that's lore.
Mm-hmm.
It builds up the stories. It adds motivations. It mm-hmm. fleshes out Gotham big time.
Yes. Fleshes out Gotham, and it also fleshes out Bruce Wayne as a character, because he, as a child, witnessed his father saving Carmine. Yeah. Again, like his father he's not exactly a perfect person, but he's not like how Harvey Dent's kind of painting him out to be. It was like, then he must have been connected to the mob somehow. And Alfred is like, well, no, he just helped this guy.
Yeah, and it also affects Alfred. So
yes.
What I said is true. Mm-hmm. The world the story takes place in is the one everyone interacts with. It's like you said, a character.
Mm-hmm. So, and in the book, it's basically, again, they can't connect Bruce Wayne with anything because we know Bruce Wayne is Batman, so he wouldn't be connected in that sense. But Harvey Dent is trying so desperately to take down the Falcone and Maroni families that he's willing to latch on to anything at some point. But he does apologize to Bruce, or at least Batman later on. It's I thought it was you were part of it. I'm sorry. And this is where you start to kind of see. Hold on one second. Fucking help. what was I saying? Oh, like, he's like that in the book. He says, "I'm sorry. I thought you could be connected because of this. I was wrong." But again, you're starting to see it particularly better in the cartoon than in the book that Harvey Dent's starting to lose his grasp on reality. You're starting to see Two-Face coming through in a sense. Because he wants to do whatever he can to stop the Falcone and Maroni families, even if that means essentially breaking the law. And he's willing to go to that extent. So Catwoman saved him.
Shows that he wasn't perfect either,
Yeah. And it says Gotham police are searching for 2 inmates. You find out that those 2 inmates are Jonathan Crane and Jervis Tetch, aka the Mad Hatter. Let's see. Let's scroll through. This is Sophia.
She did not look like that on the Gotham show.
Sophia is a big woman.
Yep.
Let me see if I can get a good shot of her. So
She's
this is
big,
Carmine's
though,
daughter.
She's big, but she's not obese.
No, but like I'm trying to get a shot of her compared to her father. See?
Yeah. Yeah, she's just that's a brick.
Yeah, like that song, "She's a Brick House." That's Sophia.
Yeah.
So she, in the book, you find out that she was basically in jail. You don't exactly know what she was in jail for. She does at some point, because you find out that she is dating, in a sense, Sal Maroni. So basically, it's kind of like a warped Romeo and Juliet situation. Then she's talking to Sal while he's in prison. She's saying, I didn't squeal or anything like that. So it's something that's tied with the Maronis in a sense. In the movie, you don't really find out like why you haven't seen her until now. But in the book, she's in prison, and she was released on early parole, and now she's visiting. She's coming back to see her father, and that's Sophia. That's his daughter. Yep, she's a big one.
She was not anyone's bitch in prison.
No. She was trained by Abby, yes. I think like Sal's an Abby chaser. That's Sophia. That's why like whenever Mega Jetty said, and I saw your DM Mega Jetty that like when she becomes Catgirl, I'm like that becomes Catgirl. It's a big ass alley cat. So she wants to be taken seriously. That she could run the family business. But Carmine is like he's still kind of that traditional sense where it's like, no, I'm gonna keep, kind of like like how he kind of treated Alberto in the book, where it's like I'm gonna keep you out of the family business because I don't want you tied in any way. Because in a way, it's out of love and to protect her, and at the same time, it's like without, for one of a better way of describing it, and trying not to sound like a feminist, it is kind of traditionally patriarchal in a sense, but then again, mafias typically are.
Yeah.
So I'm not like saying that like this, like it's like trying to sound like a feminist, but I'm saying like that's how the mentality is.
Yeah, and you're accurate.
So let me see. So this is you see them like. This is the part where it's like again they remove the scene where Bruce Wayne has been taken into custody and Harvey Dent's trying to tie him or connect him to the Falcone family. They're questioning Bruce Wayne at this point again to find out like it's like what it's like why we're like we know you were on the boat when Alberto was killed, but it's like you didn't see anything, and Bruce is like I left early. Here's like. We have witnesses who can count for my whereabouts, find out they were paid. And so he's trying to get them off his tail so he can focus on finding the Holiday Killer because he's been out of commission for a while. This is Carmine Falcone. Let me see if I can get a good shot at like them together. This is a connection that I was talking about. Thomas Wayne pulled some slugs out of Carmine. Because but Carmine's father did not want to take him to a hospital because he knew that if he took his son to the hospital that Luigi, the Maronis would finish the job. So he took him to the only other place he could, and that was Thomas Wayne, because he trusted that Thomas Wayne wouldn't say anything. Which Thomas Wayne, yes, it's like, it's like maybe he filed a report, maybe he didn't. But at the same time, he's like an honorable man. Took the Hippocratic Oath, so he's going to help someone in need.
Yeah, he has
to be a crime boss's son.
Which I wish, I wish doctors would take that oath seriously today.
Mm-hmm.
Because I saw a couple of years ago,
mm-hmm.
a Norwegian guy had a heart attack on a cruise ship,
mm-hmm.
and they were looking for a doctor, and nobody stood up, and the guy died. Turns out one of the people surrounding the guy was a U.S. doctor who didn't want to do anything because he was afraid to be sued.
Yeah, unfortunately,
yeah,
we've gotten to that point now where it's like I don't agree with his decision at all. Like he should have tried something, but at the same time, it's like with the amount of malpractice suits that people like to throw at doctors, that fear is real. My brother's a doctor, and like that fear can be real. It's not a legitimate excuse, like I said. He should have tried to do something.
Yeah, the lawsuits have gone completely out of hand.
Yeah, I'm saying like that. Like I said, that fear is real amongst doctors. Like it's like no matter what they do, like is this person going? Like they'll do it, but is this person going to sue me? That's in the back of their minds. Like if I screw up just a little bit, is this person going to sue me? They can't help thinking that. Hey, Keely. Hey, hello, and it's Sporking Ray. Thank you so much, Sporking. So then this is where this is where Harvey Dent's trying to connect the Wayne family with the Falcone family just because of this one instance, essentially, which really doesn't amount to anything, like I said, because Thomas Wayne, everybody knows anything about Batman character and the lore, Thomas Wayne was a philanthropist. He was a doctor. He took the Hippocratic Oath very seriously, and he's going to help someone in need no matter who that person is. Doesn't matter because he believed in Gotham. As corrupt as Gotham was, he believed that it could be better. That's the type of people that the Waynes were. Great character component for Batman 2, yes. Yeah, so he's seeing his father do this, and it kind of, in a way, impacts him, not just when he's young, but as he grows as an adult.
Has there ever been graphic novels or something about Batman's parents when they were younger?
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I know they touched on Joe Chill in some of them.
Yeah.
Because there's one comic where Batman takes the gun that Joe Chill used and turns it into the Batman emblem.
Yeah.
The Bat emblem.
It would have been interesting to see, how they met Alfred and, all kinds of stuff. And you'd have a lot of the criminals being younger and all that.
Mm-hmm. This quote right here, again, sums up what I said, because Alfred in the book says that several months later, the Waynes were killed in an alley after this incident. And Batman here, Bruce Wayne, is essentially saying the same thing. Any connection between my family and the Roman died then too. So when my parents died, whatever connection there was, however slight it was, died then. I'm not connected with the Falcone family at all. The Roman, when he's talking to, is about Carmine. Basically, Carmine's father was called the Roman, and then Carmine took over, and he's the Roman. So whenever you see the Roman talked about, that's Carmine Falcone. So let me see if I can scroll through. Yeah, Alfred's giving him a list of names. Let me see if I can... A lot of names on here. Must have been quite a night. I'm trying to see if I can... Let us hope your respective offices can deliver for him. Basically, he's saying the justice that the Waynes didn't get, or things like that. So stay away from men like Falcone. Yeah. So they leave. Batman and Alfred is then you'll be staying in because Alfred wants Bruce to stay low, and Bruce is no, I can't do that. I got to go find. So pay off some more people if you have to. I got to go find the Holiday Killer. Here's where you find out that Sal, let me see if I can get a good shot of them together, and Sophia, God, I hate this. Yeah. A warped Romeo and Juliet situation. the Telltale game series goes into Thomas Wayne's past, but it sucks. So yeah, like other than that, like not really. Like I can remember in the comics a lot. Like basically, what the focus is the night they died.
Yeah. So basically, potentially, they have a lot of untouched material right there.
Mm-hmm. A little bit, yeah, a little bit, and they like. I think they're touching on that with the Alfred Pennyworth series, but I haven't watched it because I think at some point, I don't know, like if the Waynes show up or not. But it's focusing on Alfred's past, and I think at some point it does. But I haven't watched it. I have to go back and like start the series to like know for sure. But yeah, but like Sal Maroni and Sophia Falcone are in a relationship. They're trying to hide it. Yeah, Telltale had okay, that fucking sucks. They have Thomas as crooked and corrupt as Falcone because he wasn't. He wasn't. But anyway, they're in a relationship. They're trying to hide it, and they're going to visit Sal's father, Luigi. Luigi is the one who's killed by a holiday killer for Father's Day. Let me see. See if I can show with like the thing that was left for them. It was a tie, essentially. Let me fucking remove this.
StreamYard issues?
Yes, StreamYard issues. So, what the hell? Fucking hell. Let me share my screen again. I fucking hate StreamYards. Wrong fucking tab. That one. Fucker. I hate StreamYard. Yeah. StreamYard quit on me. Alright, so Luigi is the victim on Father's Day. Let's see if I can like scroll past. And Sal goes to see Harvey Dent. Basically, like in the book, saying like, you know, you want Falcone, you kind of want me as well. I'll give you all the information on Falcone. In the movie, it's like he like goes as far as to say, I want immunity on all the charges, and I'll give you everything I have on Falcone. So, because he says the conversation that Sal has with the father talks about making peace, and Sal in this conversation with Harvey Dent says, like, I thought he was talking about making peace with Falcone, but he's really talking about making peace with you, to Harvey Dent. So I'm going to give you all the information I have. So he's going to see Harvey Dent, my enemy, but he's talking about you. So in the book, essentially the same thing happens, but a character that they omit from part 2 is a character called Vernon, who is a plant by the Maroni family in the DA's office. Vernon, like a young guy who's acting as an assistant to the Harvey Dent about supplying the Maroni's information, gives Sal the acid used on Harvey Dent. So this is, I think, this is the July 4th one. And this is where you see the Mad Hatter as well. Let me see if I can find him. Because Batman catches the Scarecrow robbing the bank, chases him, but then gets knocked out by the Mad Hatter. See if I can get a good shot. It's hard to like stop it, like just right. There. That's the Mad Hatter. That's how he looks in the cartoon.
He looks very cartoony, to be honest.
No, it's the Mad Hatter. He's kind of cartoony. Jervis Tetch. So basically, gets knocked out.
I like that little bit though, with the Scarecrow and the Mad Hatter. I thought that was done really well.
Yeah, both psychotic sons of bitches. Dent is targeted again in a sense. Saved by Catwoman. Trying to get shot. It's hard to go 10 seconds without playing it. It's hard to do it. But he's saved by Catwoman and he chases the guy who targeted him. Who meets his fate at the hands of Solomon Grundy. I'm trying to get like, dialogue, but essentially like he's saying like, it's like, in a way this is like to send you a message. I'm not going to kill you now. But the guy's taken out by Solomon Grundy and you hear this, get up. Solomon essentially saves Harvey Dent's life.
Yeah.
And here's another shot of Scarecrow and the Mad Hatter. You're taking the money to what you believe to be Alberto, like that. It's like a word like the crypt where technically Alberto is. And Batman, they have Batman tied up in the cart. Batman, being Batman, of course, frees himself. And then anticipates the Scarecrow using the toxic again and turns it back on the Scarecrow. See if I can get a shot of that. Yeah. Turns it back on the Scarecrow. Holds his breath. Doesn't like same thing doesn't happen to him again. So he catches the Mad Hatter and the Scarecrow here. Dent wakes up to find this guy dead. Bars bent. So there's a part. Okay, here's the trial. There's a part. I can't remember where exactly in part 2 it is, but it's before now in the trial where Batman asks Gordon what university Harvey Dent went to because Batman sneaks into the Dent's house, into the basement, and sees an Oxford flag on the wall. Jim Gordon says, no, he's a Gotham U guy. So that's basically where you can call the twist, essentially. There. Let me see. Let me catch up on the chat. Hello, Mr. Popo. Good to see you. Yeah, he was born on a Monday. Hey, Jeremy Swiggs. Biggles match for $5. Fat tits. Thank you so much, Biggles. Yeah, you gotta watch this. So, good evening to you, Biggles. Hope you enjoy it. The voice acting I really like. Some stand out better than others. But Josh Duhamel does a very good Harvey Dent. Naya Rivera is a very good Catwoman.
I'd say the voice acting overall in the whole thing is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, like overall, very good. Like I said, some stand out a little bit better.
Yeah.
But each one is very good.
It's excellent. No complaints anywhere.
Mm-hmm. So I'm trying not to skip too much into the part 2, but a lot happens in part 2, and it's also about quarter after midnight my time. So Harvey Dent has Sal Maroni on the stand. He starts asking Sal Maroni questions because the deal is that Sal is going to give up any information he has, but Sal double crosses him, as the mafia tends to do, and says I basically this was a ruse, and I'm going to he calls Dent Holiday and throws the acid on Dent's face. This is where you get the quintessential I hope we do get a Court of Owls movie. The rumor is that the Gotham Knights video game will include the Court of Owls. So I'm hoping that at least will be some inspiration for a future movie. But yeah, fingers crossed there.
They were cool on the Gotham show as well.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people don't like the Gotham show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a normie, and I quite enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
But bigger fans are saying it broke lore big time, and I can't dispute that because I don't know.
Yeah.
So unlike others, I'll actually listen to people that are bigger fans than I am.
Yes. So Sal calls Harvey Dent Holiday. That's like what was telling me that like the crime families are starting to put two and two together. That Dent is not the Boy Scout he passes himself off to be. And I'm not saying that he's doing it necessarily on purpose, but this is where in part 2 you start really getting the Dent is not all there. And he hasn't been all there for a while. So the acid is thrown on his face. I want to see, he's in the hospital here. He sees, who are you? Because he's hearing the voice now. He's really hearing it. He's like who are you?
Maybe he's burned out.
Like, I'm sorry, no one told you, Harvey. This is the voice he's hearing. So he escapes the prison, or not prison, but the hospital room. Let's see. He targets members of the crime family. See here, there he is. That shot there. So he's on the phone with Falcone.
I always thought Harvey Dent is one of the most underrated characters in the Batman franchise.
Mm-hmm. This is another like part where he's kind of rescued by Solomon Grundy. But again, like I'm saying, this is where you definitely see that Harvey Dent is not just Harvey Dent anymore. Like whatever was going on in his head up until this point, now it's like finally snapping and coming full on into the front. I have not watched it lowered yet. I'm waiting for it to end, and then I'm just gonna binge it. So
it's like he was gradually getting worse, and then that major shock moment kind of fully tipped him over.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that's how schizophrenia works though, but seems legit,
Yeah, this is like a lot. Like I said, a lot of stuff happens in part 2. Like there's like no way that you can just gloss over like we did with part 1. So I'm trying to go spoiler heavy, but this is the scene where Carla, the sister, gets it.
Looks like Honey Boo Boo.
Oh God, no! Don't bring that up. But Carla, the sister, gets it. She's in the elevator on her way up to a birthday celebration for Carmine Falcone. God, I can't believe she becomes Catgirl. Look at that. She's fucking huge. She's waiting for her sister.
She becomes Catgirl?
Yeah. That's what they're saying.
Where?
In the comics.
Oh.
So the doors open, and let me see if I can see if it gets shots.
That's one big cat.
Yeah. And he drops the water into the sea. I hate that I can't play it. Well, I'm going to mute myself. And get up to that point. So. She's taken out by, you think just one holiday killer. So you don't know exactly who did it, but she's taken out, and the gun is left there.
Now this was probably not Harvey though, because he's in the sewer with Grundy.
Yes, so that's why it's saying it's still in the cartoon. It's saying, hey, there's two killers. Is it Harvey? Is it someone else? It's. You kind of come to the conclusion that some of it is red herrings, but then other parts of it are it's two. My microphone catches it. I don't have share audio, but the audio is coming through because my mic is picking it up. I don't know if it's Amazon or what.
You know what? Teresa was having the same issues with StreamYards today.
Mm-hmm.
It started picking up and even playing audio clips from her phone.
Yeah,
it started playing her ringtone and stuff. even though nobody were calling her, and it was just and it,
Mhm.
and it started playing clips, audio from the previous streams she did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and here's where like Batman's talking with Gilda, and she's describing the mood swings he's had. Again, like like he's not exactly been normal the entire time. The man's a mystery, or so it would seem. Talking about moods, it's so strange when you deal with people, And Batman's picking up that it's also personal for Gilda, and you find out later why. But here's like where Stig pointed out that it could not have been Harvey Dent because Harvey Dent is in the sewer with Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy kind of saves him again. And Solomon Grundy, he just repeats "Born on a Monday," the song, like the not poem, but
Mantra.
basically, yeah.
It's almost like a mantra.
Yeah. Ill on Thursday, worse on Friday, died on Saturday, was buried on Sunday. So he's like just repeats that. Married on Tuesday, got sick on a Wednesday or something. And this is where Harvey Dent takes off the bandages because Solomon Grundy keeps repeating "born on a Monday." This is around Labor Day. I think when this takes place, this is around Labor Day. And Labor Day falls on a Monday, typically. So like born on a Monday. Born on a Monday. This is where, see if I can get a good shot. See if they shows. He's starting to take the bandages off. This is where Harvey Dent is born. Born on a Monday. So takes the bandages off. Back to talking about the Calendar Man. It's like, again, Hannibal Lecter. Later that night, Carla Vitti, who publicly accused Dent of being Holiday, was killed. So he's still trying to figure out who the Holiday killer is. Batman is narrowing it down. I need mute myself here. So again, the audio doesn't pick up. This is where Calendar Man tries to get say, hey, I think Calendar Man is picking up on who it is. Because in the book, he starts dropping that's like possibly a she, and planting that seed in Batman's mind. So I think Calendar Man himself is starting to pick up who it is, and he's trying to get out, trying to make a deal, saying I'll stop the killings, I'll stop Holiday Killer, but you let me out of here. Yeah, it's this interaction, Batman and Calendar Man, because it's very reminiscent of Clarice and Hannibal Lecter, where Batman's resorting to talking with a killer who kills on holidays, and I think also birthdays, as someone pointed out earlier in the chat, to figure out who the Holiday Killer is now. Let me stop here. That's something Holiday wants is Sal Maroni. This is where, as Steve pointed out, that Harvey Dent and Solomon Grundy go after this police escort to get to Sal Maroni, but then it's shown that there's a Holiday. What you think is the only Holiday Killer targeting Sal. That's where they get Sal. Let me see if I can skip ahead. So basically up until this point, Steve, any other things you have to say?
No. Well, this is where you see the killer again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe you could play that.
Yeah, I won't have to mute myself, but again, this is Two-Face. Harvey Dent is dead. Two-Face is born. Right here.
This is where he realizes it. It's his wife. See that there's a guy. No way that there's a chick. It was basically the same guy we saw on the boat.
So, so that would be, yeah, I guess it's like a criticism, but I can overlook it.
They basically, well, if it's a criticism in the Black Widow, it's a criticism in this one. So,
Well, in this case, it's. I'm trying to.
That there was basically the same dude we saw on the boat.
Well, in the book, it's kind of. Let's see. I gotta find something.
They can't just show us a dude twice and then just say that was a lady.
Look, okay. This is where Gilda picks up that it was Harvey. She says, Johnny Vitti was the first. Then again, on Thanksgiving, I left the hospital while you slept, because he's kind of talking to Harvey Dent, but Harvey Dent's not there. And again on Christmas. But when Alberto Falcone was shot on New Year's Eve, and you came home late that night, your hair was wet, even though you were wearing a hat. I found the gun in the basement. You told me it was evidence, but I knew you said you had the same idea as me. You picked up where I left off. So we could have time together, a child, a secret.
Nobody shot Alfredo, though.
Alberto.
Yeah, but he wasn't shot, so Harvey's hair was wet from something else.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think Alberto's taking credit for it. Alberto's taking credit for it. I don't think Alberto did it.
But in this movie, it makes zero sense, because that's obviously a guy that we've seen twice now.
Which I can give you the second one, but the first one would have been Harvey Dent.
Well, could have been. But, still, it's the same dude that we saw on the boat.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, like that's like one, like the criticism is that it looks like the dude on the boat, where I could still argue it like that she was wearing extra layers.
But you see the hairline
to hide her actual body shape.
Yeah.
But the boat was a dude, and that was Harvey Dent. That's the implication here in the book, that perhaps maybe Alberto is lying, that he's not the holiday killer.
Then
don't really know for sure.
What?
No, I'm saying in the book.
Yeah.
That you don't even know, like, it's Alberto's just claiming to be the holiday killer. Alberto could have been lying.
Yeah, but
and in this case, it's like flat out just about almost stated that it was Harvey and Gilda, not working in tangent, like working with the same motive in mind. You do see it. I'll try to get a good shot of it, but he, throughout both parts, like before he becomes Harvey Dent, he does have the two-sided coin, the heads on each side, but then puts the scratches on the other side, and that's like the quote-unquote tails. So Harvey escapes. And we're back to Halloween. And this is where the final showdown happens. This is why it's called The Long Halloween, because it goes from Halloween to Halloween. So we're back to it being on Halloween. This is where Bruce is now putting all the pieces of the puzzle just about together. Made difficult choices. He's looking at his portrait of his parents again. He's trying to figure out, I've always told myself what I'm doing to honor them, but am I really? He's having that conversation with Alfred. Gilda is being protected by these two. You're not really given their names. My assumption is that is Montoya, but you don't really get their names. Because they think Harvey Dent is going to. They're kind of protecting her, keeping her out of the way because of what's happening with Harvey Dent. There's no way to know where or when your husband will show up, so they're thinking that he'll target his wife. Now you have the Arkham Asylum escape that Harvey orchestrates with Solomon Grundy. Calendar Man is saying it's All Hallows Eve, but it's also a Tuesday, so it's Taco Tuesday. Yes. And the guard hears a noise, starts running down. The other guy, that's where Solomon and Grundy and Harvey Dent show up, and they free some of the residents, namely Penguin, Scarecrow, Mad Hatter, and Poison Ivy. And Joker shows up. He's already free. There's a funny part with Calendar Man because he is he's the one left because he guessed wrong. That's how Harvey Dent frees him. It's he flips the coin and says, guess who, and if you guess right, you're free. No, she's not. I skipped through it, but she's not heavyset. So this is where I'm trying to skip to the showdown. Batman confronts Carmine Falcone. Yeah. Wish I had a chance to be a better father to my boys, where he's regretting how he treated him, Alberto. Conversation with Catwoman. Got explosions happening, which is to distract the cops from what's actually going to happen, because you have Scarecrow and Mad Hatter going through the town. Scarecrow is releasing his toxin. You have Ivy. Everyone's invited to the party except Calendar Man because he guessed wrong. And let me see, just skip to the final showdown. See if I can get a good shot of all the criminals in that room. Because they target the Falcone family.
Sophia has a bit of a different ending in this than in the book. Because in the book, she flat out attacks Catwoman.
A bit. Okay, here's the shot. You got Joker, Solomon Grundy, Poison Ivy, Mad Hatter, Scarecrow, and Penguin in this shot. And Harvey Dent is basically holding court. He's at Carmine's desk. Then a flip of a coin. He's basically what is justice? Justice is not blind, basically. Justice, there is no real justice. It only boils down to if you guess right, heads or tails. Let me see if I can get a good shot of his coin. Unless the system is corrupted, rigged in a man's favor. Let's see if I can get a good shot of his coin. I know you see his coin at some point, but they do show his coin. Batman and Catwoman attack, basically, to try to save Carmine Falcone. Take out one at a time. Yeah, on guard, he's sanctimonious shit. Yeah, they're not afraid to drop curse words here. Joker's Nancy, hold my calls. Yep. So I'm trying to get to... Okay. Carmine does bite the dust here. Carmine does bite the dust here. Yeah, I'm still going. I'm wrapping it up here because this is the last shot, in a sense, the last scenario, and that is Harvey Dent, with the help of criminals, even though he doesn't really care about them, targets Carmine Falcone because that's the end game. He takes out Carmine Falcone, Sophia, who you think is dead from the criminals targeting them, but she's not. She comes in to find her father dead or shot. Thinks that if she goes to target Dent.
Yeah, in the book, she flat out attacks Catwoman.
Well,
and they kind of have a tussle and they fall over.
Yeah. So trying to get.
Yeah, I think.
The Catwoman tries to save her.
Yeah, this way is kind of better than in the book, I think.
Yeah, and Catwoman has her own motivation essentially here, but she does try to save Sophia. Sophia herself lets go because Catwoman's saying, "I can't hold on." She can't like pull this woman up one-handed, no matter like how badass Catwoman is. So Sophia basically lets go and falls to her death. The Falcone family's pretty much no more by this time in the book. So she falls to her death. Like, that's the last shot. She falls on a cop car. The irony. Falcone dies, and you find out why Catwoman was targeting him, and that's because she's his daughter. Because Falcone looks at Catwoman when Catwoman takes her hood off, her cowl off, and he calls her mother's name. So basically, without going into details, it's like revealed that Carmine, for one of a better way of putting it, knocked up Catwoman's mother, and Catwoman is his daughter. Illegitimate daughter, but his daughter. He couldn't puff out the temp, so that, can't. So that's why you find out in this scene why Catwoman was focused on Falcone. Falcone dies, and Dent gives himself up here, takes credit for all the holiday killings, even though you find out he's not the one doing it, or at least all of them. So I want to skip. I want to play this entire scene. I'm going to mute myself, but this is where you find out that Gilda was part of some of them. Yeah, aka Selena Falcone, yes. So I'm going to mute myself and hear Gilda's motivation, and it's pretty fucked up. And I think I like this motivation better here than it was in the book. So haha, Andrew. Yeah, so there's basically Gilda's motivation, which I think in a way works better than how it was in the book, because it does give her a personal, in a way, vendetta to the Falcone family. At the same time, it's like you can see why she's messed up the way she is.
Yeah, absolutely. that bit is better in the movie than the book.
So this is again why I think. Now, I mean, I'm only interpreting it based on how it is, and that is Alberto the actual holiday killer? We don't even know. He just takes claim for it in the book. So there's really no definite. Like,
well, unless the writers said
it's basically like newspapers are saying like a holiday killer caught, but at the same time, it's like, is he actually telling the truth, or is he just taking credit because he basically tells his father like your time is done. I see the thing is like it doesn't really cement like definite who necessarily the other holiday killer is in the book. So that's just my interpretation. Reading it.
I'm landing on a 7 for part 1 and a 5 for part 2. So I guess a total of 6.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit more generous because I liked. I'm not saying necessarily I forget like all the changes, but I liked both parts together, and I loved the action scene, the scenes in the second part, and how a lot of it just worked. It is more of a mystery in the book, but at the same time, it's like I don't like the motivations. The motivations to me don't work. So I'm looking at it as not both as a psychology major and as someone who's looking at character-driven stories. And I wasn't sold on either of the motivations. I wasn't sold at all. So basically, he doesn't turn Gilda in. Basically, he leaves it as it's she says that they're done. She's done, no more. So essentially, the holiday killer is caught. Harvey Dent has taken the rap for all of it. So that's her motivation. And she says, I wonder how long did he know about me? And she basically tells Bruce that the holiday killer is no more. Then it goes to Halloween again. Bruce is saying, why do you do this? No kid's going to show up. And I think this part's really sweet. And that is, okay, Selena's coming down the stairs. The kid who shows up is the family, the kid who sees a Batman in the alley when Batman's under the influence of the toxin. And I think that's him, but anyway, a kid shows up dressed as Batman. A little bit cheesy, but I think really sweet. So they have at least one kid show up.
Well, sometimes, even if it's a bit cheesy, it might still fit very well. So I thought that was a nice touch too.
Yes. So, and this also has another post-credit scene, which, I mean, to be honest, I did kind of fangirl a bit. But at the same time, I'm this should have been just a story in itself.
Yeah.
And this sets up for another animated extended universe. Still full-size candy bars. You hit the rich folks because they sell the good. They give out the good shit. And this sets it up for another extended universe because the Flash and Green Arrow show up at the end. Hey, Tatooine. So I'm not like I said, at one instance, I kind of fangirled a bit, but then another part of me is this should have just been this. Should have just been this. You don't need to set up another animated extended universe.
Yeah.
So your overall impression is 6 out of 10.
Yeah, and I agree with you that end of credits scene thing didn't need to be there.
No, it really did not.
They could have had something else. They could have had something with Grundy, maybe. I don't know.
Something, or maybe the Rogues Gallery in Arkham or something like that, kind of setting up that they inevitably escape. So setting up something. like later on where we might see like like not that they escape, but that like it's like the possibility is still there.
Or a fun scene with Calendar Man.
Something.
Yeah.
So, and I miss Batman the Animated Series too. But yeah, that's where it ends. That's where it ends. I'm a bit more forgiving. I think I would overall give it an 8 out of 10. Maybe drop it down to 7.5 a little bit. But like I said, I very much enjoyed both parts 1 and 2. I think they overall did justice to love you too, Steph. Hope you get some sleep. Go to sleep, woman. Overall, I think they did justice to the story itself. They did change some things, and I think some of the things that changed did work a bit better as far as character driven motivations. But they didn't really need it. Like, even if they aren't making it, why set up the teaser? That's the thing. Like, why bother setting it up? Even like if they end up not making it, it's like basically a throwaway scene at the end that doesn't amount to anything. So, but then there's the spoiler discussion. It went for like 2 hours and 41 minutes, but there's a lot to unpack, and I didn't even touch on everything. I really didn't even touch on everything.
The people watching could have literally watched the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Instead of watching us.
Yeah, could have, because it's like basically if you watch both parts together, it's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yep.
So, but like I said, I didn't really touch on everything. Like, you really need to watch both parts and get a feel for like everything that happens, because there is a lot to unpack in both parts 1 and 2. Part 1, yeah, we EFAC'd this. Part 1 is a slow burn because it goes through like 4 holidays, but it's like slow in between, and then part 2 picks up because now it's basically proverbial pedal to the metal. Holiday Killer is like stepping up his or her game. You don't know who it is, and the cops think they're going to catch them by Valentine's Day or February. They don't, obviously, and it makes it all the way to October. So you kind of have to fit a lot in part 2. So, but there's our overall take. I'm sure if like Steph stayed with us, she would have like given like her inputs based on like how it is in the book, and hopefully she has a chance to watch both parts when she's feeling a bit better after getting the shots. But there it is. Those are both parts. I enjoyed them. So Steve gives it a 6 out of 10. I give it a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. But
I don't consider a 6 to be bad, though. Just to be fair.
No, it's not exactly bad, but I think I'm a bit more generous and a bit more maybe lenient in some instances.
Yeah, I've never been known to be a lenient person.
Yeah. So, but those are our scores. And I think it's worth the watch. It's worth at least one watch, and at least also in comparison to the book, because they do make changes. So you can't exactly think that because you read the book you're going to know what happens in the cartoon. So, be fair, you should probably both read and watch it. But anyway, that is a wrap, an official wrap. Steve did provide a link for a commercial to have at the end of the stream to end on. Let me see if you can pick this up. This is my text tone that I changed to. There it is. Okay. Here is my text tone.
Bloody hell, more batshit.
That's Alfred saying, like, bloody hell, more batshit. So, and Steve, do you think I should tell them what the fucked up thing I did in D&D, Conan D&D, or should I wait for another stream?
It's up to you.
Maybe I'll wait for another stream because it is late. I gotta like turn in because it does require giving a little bit of background to like
the maybe whole. We can do it on Wednesday if I'm on the Grinch thing.
Yeah, maybe we can do it then because it does. It's not like a deep background, but I kind of have to set up why you made the scenario, what the scenario was, and how I ended up doing what I ended up doing.
You know what? It probably belongs on the Cringe stream.
Yeah. It's like you either respect me for my for like how fucked up I am, or be disgusted for how fucked up I was. So not exactly cringe, but it's like one of the other.
You know what? Apart from that, though, you haven't done anything fucked up in the Conan game at all.
No, not really. And I'm a Temptress.
Nina's been the weird one.
Yeah, so I'm the Temptress, which is like I'm actually been tame in a sense. I mean, I have banged on 3 people. I've given a hand job to 2. My character, not me, but I haven't really done anything other than that one instance where I did something royally fucked up.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got swallowed by a giant toad once, but that wasn't really your fault.
No, to be fair to me, you didn't exactly we didn't exactly say where we were in the little sewer area. You made the assumption. I'm sticking with that.
The other ones ran forward. You stayed behind with a bow, so you were.
No, I didn't say where I was.
Yeah,
we went in there. All we did was we said we went in there. We didn't say where we were.
And then the others ran further forward to attack the frogs. And you didn't specify running forward at all.
I had a bow.
Yeah,
I had a bow, but I didn't specify where I was. But I didn't specify where I was.
You would be the one closest to the biggest one.
Where? Because the way you have it set up, it's like I couldn't have been.
No,
because I was back with the bow.
Yeah, but they came from behind you.
Yeah, but you didn't set up the scenario well. That is a poor DM. I'm sticking to that. Poor DM.
Nina and Teresa ran forward into the room. You stayed behind to shoot arrows.
Because
if someone comes from behind, you're going to be the first thing.
Well, it would have had to come up behind from the tunnel that we were in. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's where it came from. Because the tunnel.
You weren't clear on that.
It was the only way in.
It could have come from the water that was in the middle.
It attacked you from behind.
D&D arguments. I still maintain that he didn't set it up properly. Anyway, let everybody know where they can find you so we can start wrapping this up.
Just OG Star Wars on Thursdays and sometimes on your channel on Wednesdays.
Yep, there you go. There's a lot to explain with my action, more than that. But yeah, so thank you all for sticking with me. It's a long ass stream, so I do kind of apologize. We kind of EFAP'd parts 1 and 2. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you missed any part of it, I hope you enjoyed the replay. You'll catch me most likely on Ryan's stream. He sometimes sends out the link. So for those of us to join his stream Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern. And you can also find me Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern on Mark the Cyborg's channel with Lethal Lightning and Litigation Jackson, talking about the anime series Fate Zero. I'm trying to do a regular Wednesday stream, but that's going to depend on what my fall semester schedule ends up being for classes. But I try and do a regular Cringe Factory live stream around 8 p.m. Eastern Wednesdays, and then try to make a return to Twitch some point next week. And then again, Talk Nerdy to Us, which should be on Steph's channel next Saturday, unless anything changes. So we will let you know then. So I will play this commercial. I don't know what it is. That Stieg clipped. So I'm going to mute myself and then I will sign out. So give me 1 second to bring it up. Dear Christ, Stieg, did you have to pick this one?
Oh,
I will get hit.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
No.
Yes, I
didn't.
If I get hit, I'm blaming you. I am full on blaming you. If I get hit with anything at all, any inappropriate content, I'm blaming you.
You don't see anything in it.
Yet you fucking hell, you do see her it, and it's full on not just implied what's going on, but it's the link that he sent, so I'm going to do it anyway. And like I said, if I get hit with anything, I'm blaming the Viking here. So, on that note, let me just share my screen, share audio.
It's just a very merry commercial.
No, it's not. I'm gonna mute myself. Good night, folks.
shaken, not stirred.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.